What's up, everybody? How's it going? Welcome to the show. Welcome to This Week in Wrestling. These motherfuckers are over here fucking just talking up shit.
No,
Move,
we're singing
bitch.
a ludicrous song.
Fucking singing, move, bitch, get out
Just
the
move, bitch.
You see
Going
me
off.
on the highway, get the fuck out of my way.
way. Whatever. That's how I would say it. I was doing that in Walmart the other day. I was singing a song. Or was that no, I was doing it I was singing a song, and I was singing it like a white person.
Well, I mean, how else are you gonna sing
You
it?
are a white.
What I mean, you know how, like, if you were rapping,
Oh God.
I'd be like, move, bitch, get out of my way. Get out of my way.
If you see me on the highway, get the fuck out of my way.
I wonder if Gina's your spoken word version of that.
Exactly.
So-
So, wrestling.
Yeah, so I this week has been really a weird fucking week for me. I'm gonna be frank with you, and you guys that
Okay, babes.
are on this show with me know what I'm
Who's Frank?
talking about. I honestly am fried on wrestling. And yes, I can watch what I want, but I feel that if I don't watch what is going on, I shouldn't be doing a show about wrestling. So I watch everything.
You got to recharge on Mars.
So it's been a really weird week where
Stick a Mars bar up your ass.
it's not necessary.
Fuck.
I mean, fuck that. If you find a
Because-
Mars bar, you send it to me. Don't put it up your ass.
So she can put up her ass.
No.
5 minutes
Oh,
in, we're already losing our shit.
Off to a great start already, guys. Anyway.
There is just a lot of fucking wrestling, and I do have to pick and choose because I will want to shoot myself in the head if I watch all of it. We already don't watch all of it. You don't watch Impact. I don't watch Impact. ROH.
You don't
can
watch
eat my
Raw.
ass. Raw can lick my taint. And New Japan, I only watch the pay-per-views, so you gotta pick and choose, man.
New Japan, man. I watch everything. I watch everything.
I do pick and choose. Raw, I'm not gonna not watch because it's Raw, and there's always something to talk about the next Saturday because of Raw, and NXT. And I think what it is I'm sick and fucking tired, and it's just one of those fucking things. It's like, well, AEW does this better. Well, NXT does this better. AEW does this better. No, you're not right. AEW is better. No, you know what? Shut the fuck up and just enjoy the shit. But I can't just enjoy the shit when there's fucking people on my fucking timeline saying that people are fucking stupid for liking a certain show. And these fucking ratings. These
I can
fucking
enjoy it.
ratings, man.
I can still enjoy
You
it.
gotta mute their ass or not
Fucking-
pay attention to them.
Ugh.
I mean, there's always gonna be retards.
You know,
They
Twitter
think
is
that's
full
the
of
end all be
toxicity.
all. They think it's the end all be all of everything that happens in fucking wrestling is a fucking rating. And this is
Well-
why wrestling fucking sucks today, because everybody's so worried about which show was better based on
Okay, well,
fucking
here's-
ratings. Get
Here's
the fuck out of here with that shit.
okay. First of all, calm down.
No,
Second of
get
all-
more mad.
Second of all,
Oh wait,
Twitter
it's gonna happen.
is full of Twitter, Facebook, anywhere you go is full of fucking assholes who just want to get a reaction, and that's basically what you're allowing them to do.
Oh,
Because
I don't even fucking respond.
when
to
you
that
argue, but when you argue with somebody on Twitter, you're literally allowing them to get into your mindset and create this like negative bubble where you have to argue about the positive. about the positivity. So that makes you not want to watch the product.
Actually, I don't argue with them. I say, why should I choose?
But
Why?
I get that, but I'm just saying, I'm not just talking particularly to you. I'm talking everybody as a whole. Like,
What?
no, what
Talk
I'm
to me
saying,
like that?
you shut up. Not just all of us. I mean, everybody that's out there listening too. If you go after a fucking troll, and don't go after. If you try to talk sense into a troll, all they're going to do is troll you more. So you're not going to win there. All it's going to do is give you more negativity towards the product that you're trying to argue for to begin with.
Mhm.
So I've just given up with that shit, and honestly, I ignore all of it. And
Oh,
I
I
just
do
watch
too.
what I want to watch.
Somebody tweets out. They say give your thoughts, and I just give my thoughts, and then it's like I'm not going for one or the other. And they like, well, you need to pick and choose. The fuck I do? Who the fuck are you to tell me, you fucking teenage little faggot, to tell me that I need to fucking choose between NXT and AEW?
You know, people tried to do that to me at first too, like, oh, you can't like both of them, you need to choose. And I said, no, I'm a fan of wrestling, so I can like both of them, and you can literally suck my taint if you don't like it. Like, that's just the way it is.
I don't know if I'd ever want to suck on anybody's taint.
Hey,
So,
don't knock it till you try it.
Hey, Sven,
so I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. There is way too much fucking wrestling, and it does. You can't. You can literally not sit and watch every single fucking wrestling promotion that there is. You can't, because if you do, you're fried. You're completely fried. Like you just don't even fucking. Just don't
If
even
you do,
fucking
that's
wanna
all you do is watch wrestling. Because there's literally like 48 hours of wrestling a week.
There is. There is. So yeah, we're gonna talk. We're not even gonna talk about the shows themselves. We're gonna talk about each promotion and what is the big topic of discussion for the week. I'm not even gonna talk about fucking Raw. If you haven't watched Raw, go watch it. I mean, it wasn't great, but it wasn't. It was watchable. It was watchable.
It was serviceable to get us to the Rumble.
SmackDown was okay. It was entertaining, but it wasn't.
Whoa.
He wasn't even on the show.
He was on Raw.
Kane, no, wait, and Kane was on SmackDown.
I know, but he was on Raw.
But if
What-
you watch
was Big
SmackDown
Show
for
on Raw?
anything,
Big
Oh,
Show's
yeah.
on Raw.
Yeah,
with
he
this
was.
fight.
Yeah, that's right. But see, I didn't even pay attention to it.
but if the thing
Go
is,
watch
if you watch SmackDown for any reason, make it be for Otis.
Yeah.
You know what? We're going to talk about that when we get to it. Because I'm
Right.
not going to lie to you, I'd rather have Lana Lashley. I can't get into the
What the
sassiness
fuck
of
is
the
wrong with you?
You know what? I'd rather
There's nothing
that
wrong
be.
with me. It's just a choice.
Well, I feel like they're working towards with him. They're working towards Mandy Rose having a really solid heel turn, like a proper. She's a heel now, but being like full-fledged heel, and using Otis to get there, and having Otis have a full-fledged face run from this
Well,
angle.
yeah, and not only that, but I mean, like JP said, we'll talk about it. But what happened with Sonya kind of solidifies that idea that you just had, basically.
I don't know why he always looks like he's about to eat out of someone's fucking asshole.
So,
Why the Mandy's last night? Sweet collar.
Wouldn't you want to? No, well, I don't know.
no,
Would you?
I'm not going to lie.
No.
Oh, thank you.
But anyway, so we're going to start off with the WWE and the big news of the week. And this is what the WWE has become. Fans, Triple H, I don't even know what he said.
He made a joke.
I got that.
The joke didn't even make sense.
I got
So
that.
basically,
But
the joke was just he basically said that Paige had kids out there that she didn't even know about. It was basically what the joke was.
It's the kind of joke you make with like a
close
guy,
friend.
a male wrestler that's like, fucking sleeping around or whatever. So he's like, whatever.
okay, so anyway, And all I seen was that Triple H is an asshole, Triple H is a fucking dickhead, Triple H is a this, Triple H is a that. It's the same thing with Corey Graves. So Triple H comes out and public. Now Paige did put out a tweet, so it's okay for my boss to make fun of me, and then everybody's all in a fucking uproar. So Triple H, when I don't even know when it was Thursday, Wednesday, he publicly apologized. Why? Why does he need to come out and publicly fucking apologize to appease the fucking fans? Because if he don't, he's going to be a hated man for the rest of his fucking life like Corey fucking Graves. Corey Graves could probably publicly fucking apologize and people would still fucking hate him.
Man, the world's fucked because nobody can make a joke, and the joke didn't even make sense, and people were like, it's I don't know, man.
Here's the thing. When it first happened, I kind of mentioned it to you guys because I felt at first I felt bad for Paige, just the way that she worded it, like it seemed like she was actually really hurt, by it. And she has gotten a lot of hate. Now, mind you, a lot of that hate she brought on herself, but she has gotten a lot of hate. But as time went on, I think it was the next day already, I was kind of like, well, that joke wasn't it wasn't that bad. It was honestly just a all good in good fun type of a joke.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that he meant anything bad by it. I think it was just a bad joke at the time. People have it happens. People make bad jokes.
Well, he's put on the spot in an interview. He said what he said. It was joking. It didn't really make any sense. But again, it's not action-wise, WWE, have they done anything to throw her under the fucking bus? They've done everything to help her out, being injured, still being part of the company, being used in different angles, having a movie made about her life. They've literally done as much as they could to help her out. So him off, one off while on camera, while put on the spot, you can't hold somebody to a fucking crucifix every time they do anything.
Correct.
And I also feel and I'm probably going to get some hate for this from other people, but I kind of feel if you live a certain lifestyle, you shouldn't be expecting people to treat you any different. You don't live that lifestyle, because it might not be who she is today, but everybody's past comes around to bite you. Everybody's past comes around to bite you. So what you did in the past, you can't just erase and pretend it wasn't there, So I feel she needs to take ownership of what she did wrong in the past as well. Now, I'm not saying she is anything to blame for what happened at this point right now, but there's a lot of choices that she made in her past that led to the jokes that are being thrown around now. So she can't just play the victim, nonstop. She has to take ownership of what she did. She was a participant in these things.
She has taken ownership. She knows she made a mistake. She's even said that. It took her.
Well, right, but
and that's why she was gone for so long, besides the neck injury, is for her to get her head straight.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is in this case, yes, she didn't do anything wrong here, but that past, she's famous, so that past is going to keep on coming around to bite her, no matter if she took ownership for it or not. It sounds like she did. It's still going to come around to haunt her, and she's got to find a way to get past that, because people are going to talk, and you can't attack your boss just because he made a bad joke. Me personally, if that was my boss and I was famous, I would have tweeted him privately or messaged him privately and been like, hey man, what the hell? That's really upsetting. These people are
you know what, man, I think it was just taken the wrong way. All she did was say something. There's no I think she's not necessarily saying something and meaning it and being vindictive with it. She just said, this is this, but also when it comes down to it, after that all happened, we had on camera during the show fucking the New Day throwing shots at one of their members for that whole video thing that happened.
Yeah.
On SmackDown.
I don't think it was all Paige, because the boyfriend got involved in this.
Yeah.
He's the one that put that tweet out saying that the WWE should be embarrassed to have Triple H.
Okay.
Because of the comment that was made.
Well, and I'm not trying
to fire.
I mean, in no way, shape, or form am I trying to put this solely on Paige. I'm not trying to blame the victim, quote unquote, or whatever. I'm just saying that everybody's past comes to haunt them, and even though you don't want it to happen, it's going to happen, and it's probably going to happen more for her because she is famous. So you have to think when you're putting out these tweets that she has all these fanboys and fangirls out there that are immediately going to jump to her defense.
So you also have to remember Alberto Del Rio literally was in a relationship with her live on camera, just talking shit nonstop to Triple H, and that was that. Triple H has said nothing since then, and what he said now, I don't even think is in reference to that at all. He had a small dig, and it was just a joke in the moment. It's the same thing you do if it was guys. It's the same little fucking jab you throw at one of your guy friends that sleeps around.
Yeah. I mean, in hindsight, he knows that what he said was wrong. He's apologized. I don't think he had to do it publicly, like JP said.
I don't think he said anything really wrong. See, that's the thing.
That doesn't make sense. So what's he apologizing for?
Hold on. I mean, he acknowledged not that he said something wrong, but that he made a bad joke. It was a bad joke.
No, he literally apologized for the joke. That he didn't mean to offend Paige. He didn't mean to offend Paige or anybody else. So,
but he's a public official, so
I don't care. He still shouldn't have to fucking apologize. I'm sorry.
I agree with you.
I mean, okay, you become like a COO or CEO of a company. You're in that role. You're gonna do it regardless, even if it's not warranted.
But he doesn't need to appease the fucking fans, because then the fans came out and said, "Oh, it's okay. We knew you were just kidding.
Yeah.
It wasn't." So if Corey Graves, now here's why I bring this up, because a couple of months ago with the Mauro Ranallo thing with Corey Graves, and Corey Graves is still getting shit for that, and I think it's wrong. Sorry, I think it's wrong. If he was to come out and apologize, do you think people would be saying, "Oh, it's all right. We knew you were only kidding"?
The thing is probably not, because he has a history of having really bad tweets like that.
Okay, but the point I'm trying to make here is the fans seem to think that they are owed an apology themselves for somebody saying something about somebody else that has nothing to do with them.
Well, and I think that's just today's world in general. Like, people try to insert themselves into shit that has absolutely nothing to do with them.
I do feel like,
he went out of his way to, which he did. He did contact Paige privately, but again, I think it was more. This all more stemmed from that boyfriend putting out that tweet as well, saying that he had to hear her cry over the comments. She felt disrespected, and you're a head honcho at a company making these accusations and comments.
So here's my thing.
So bigwig should not be making those kind of comments.
If it was against a man, nobody would have said anything.
Well, here's my question,
I'm gonna say that right now.
But here's my question: like, her boyfriend, wasn't it after he put out the tweet? Triple H put out the tweet that he apologized to Paige. That he put out that tweet.
Yes.
So he was just kind of fueling the fire. Like, I don't know, that boyfriend, he just doesn't seem like a good choice for her, so to speak. But I mean, then again, she has a long track history of not making good choices in that. So I don't know, it makes sense, I guess. But I agree with you, JP. Like, Triple H should not have had to apologize to the fans because it had nothing to fucking do with us.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. He doesn't need to apologize. He doesn't need to publicly apologize to appease the fans and then have the fans come out, "Oh, no, you're good. Apology accepted." No, fuck you. You don't need to apologize. If Paige, if Triple H privately apologized to Paige and Paige said he apologized, we're good. The fans should be okay, whatever.
It's a kind of like a safe face move, and it's because of his position of where he is that I think he did it, and that's it. I agree with you, though. There's really no reason for him to apologize. It's a slight dig at the type of person. I mean, you know what? If I'm gonna go out there and be a fucking whore myself, I'm gonna hook around. I'm just gonna sleep with everybody, and somebody makes fun of it, and it's a known fact. Then it is what it is. Like, you can't act a certain way and want to be treated a different way at the same time.
And the thing is, you can't expect to be treated differently when you're a celebrity than anybody else. And anybody else, like, let's say I was whoring around when I was in my early 20s, it's going to come around to bite me in the ass later on. And a celebrity is no different. They shouldn't be treated any different. Half of them are saying, oh, well, we're just regular normal people. Treat us like normal people. And I understand that, like, the emotional turmoil that she goes through having to deal with it over and over again, because some people do take it too far. But in the same sense, it's like everybody has to pay for your actions. Everybody does.
What he said wasn't even like, I mean, at this point in time, that is like, it's a slight jab. It's not like anything else. And it's not like he's hitting her with it constantly on social media or anywhere else. This is a one-off thing. And it seems to me like it's fucking mountains out of molehills.
And deal. Not only that, but the joke itself didn't even make any fucking sense. Because, like, Paige has children out there that she doesn't even know about. Yeah. How the fuck would that even happen? Like, I think that was what he was getting at, was like, it was meant to be a playful joke. And it got blown way out of proportion.
Yeah, I just... Give me a second.
Oh, God, I just seen Aaron Carter's tech, too. Oh, God.
Well, and even she, when she responded as well, she's like, yeah, it's fun to poke fun. Even my bosses do it. So, she acknowledged it, like, oh, no hard feelings, but then... Like I said, everything just kind of got fueled after that.
Yeah,
but that's anybody in the spotlight. When you put yourself out there and you're constantly tweeting every day about what's going on in your personal life or what you're doing and who you're doing it with, you're going to have scrutiny. And that's anybody that's on social media, whether you're famous or not.
Exactly.
Because somebody's always going to comment on something.
I mean, in the end, it is what it is. I mean, I know she got a huge amount of flack when it first happened, but then a lot of people seem to like just be more supportive than they weren't over time, and now everything's kind of died down. And what he said was just, it's the same type of stupid joke that like guy friends would make with each other, and nobody would care.
Right. Yeah, Wendy's awake.
Yay.
Yeah, it's in the... Yeah.
So I do agree with you. Like, people have become soft and entitled, especially people that don't deserve it. Like, I mean, you're a person on social media. You have no... You're just another voice in the crowd, and it's like, I want an apology for something that didn't involve me. Please give it to me. I want
people to apologize to me for making Triple H apologize. Try that on for fucking size one fucking time. I should actually tweet that out. Remember that. Make note.
Okay.
Just saying. I mean, think about it, though. I want people to apologize to me for fucking people making Triple H apologize publicly.
I just want people to apologize to me because I have to listen to people wanting apologies all the time.
Well, if you don't like it, don't watch it. I'm just kidding. So anyway.
But I'm not watching it. I'm just scrolling through it.
So the build that you wanted to talk about, the build, and we can talk about the build to Royal Rumble. I've been hearing different things about the Royal Rumble. They're not gonna have any NXT stars. They're only gonna have like 3 or 4. They're gonna have 10. They're gonna do 10 and 10.
Somebody even said the rumor out there it's gonna be a 60-man Royal Rumble.
Yeah, they've heard that 60-man Royal Rumble.
Good God!
Because that's what everyone wants.
I've actually recently heard that NXT is not supposed to be involved in this Royal Rumble.
I feel like they'll have a couple people from NXT that they're pushing.
Yes. Like I expect Keith Lee to be in it. And I don't expect Matt Riddle to be in it. Like everybody wants him to be.
But I want it so bad.
No, because I think where he's at right now, I think he's fine. He's fine.
I don't want him to get called up. I just want him to be in the Rumble to go face to face with Brock. He's gonna get his ass kicked, but I still just want it.
I hear you're just like I'm hating to say this, Gina. You're like one of those people that like hot shot shit.
Are you fucking kidding me right
No,
now? Like, you know me
yes,
better than that. Okay,
you
first of
don't
all,
want
just because I want to see Matt Riddle and Brock
But
Lesnar like
let it-
face to face in a ring does not mean I like the hot shot
I think
shit.
it would be. I think
But
it would
let
be
it
a
build.
cheap pop, and it would work because we know Brock Lesnar is going to be in from the beginning. You do a
Right.
little tease, and that's it. I think surprisingly enough, I think that Swerve guy is going to be in it. He was on main event. He's going to be one of those guys that come in and don't last
Isaiah
long.
Swerve.
He's
Yeah,
going to
I
be
feel
one
like
of
he's
those
going to
guys
be.
that's probably going to do that fucking Kofi Kingston. When Kofi Kingston
Yep.
leaves, he's going to
He'll
be
come
that
out and
guy
do
that does
something.
that fucking acrobatic shit.
He'll come out and do something a bit crazy, then get eliminated. But I also think he's a guy that's not going to stay in NXT very long. I actually think he's probably going to move to the main roster quicker than we think.
Right. I don't want. I'd rather, and I hope they don't do it because then it ruins it if they do it at the Royal Rumble.
I think you do it at the Royal Rumble just to tease the fact that it could happen at some point. That's really what the Royal Rumble's for. You're not going to capitalize on a moment all the time.
Do you remember? I think it was Money in the Bank, where Shinsuke and AJ were in the same match together.
When they got in the ring and looked at each other.
Yes,
Yes.
that I would be okay with, and then somebody interferes and they.
That's what I imagine.
I don't want to see them two fight.
I think they shouldn't touch each other. I think it should be everybody down. They're about to go, and then some big name enters, and everything stops to see the guy entering, and they never actually touch.
Well,
But
I don't know. The
it's a
first two
tease
times that they
exists.
fought wasn't too exciting. So
What are you talking about?
No, we're talking about no.
Yeah, but
we're talking about
we're not
well,
even talking about that.
we're talking about Matt Riddle and Brock Lesnar in the ring together, but it's the same
okay.
type
You
of
guys said
tease.
AJ and Shinsuke, and I thought you
Okay,
had jumped
no,
to those
but
two
AJ
first.
Shinsuke teased.
Just that tease
their-
of them being face to face, and then having
Gotcha.
that.
with the history of them too. That's
Yeah,
what we're
and
talking
that's what I meant earlier with Riddle and Brock Lesnar was just like teasing it, not like actually fighting.
about. I don't want them fighting. They could be in
Yeah,
the
but
same ring together, but I
The
don't want
Rumble
them
always
touching
does
each other.
this. The Rumble has always done this. They've always teased something, and whether it ever pays off or not, whatever, you get a cheap pop from the crowd, and then we move on.
So, like a lot of the time, like the reason, and I think the reason that they did the AJ Shinsuke thing is because of how big of a pop it got when them two were facing face to face in that
Oh, yeah.
ladder match. That's the reason. So if you do get Brock Lesnar and Matt Riddle face to face, and you get that big pop, you might get something. But that's okay. But I don't want them to actually fight in the Royal Rumble.
No, I didn't want him to actually go at it in the ring. I was basically meaning the same thing that you guys did, just face to face, and somebody interfere with it or something.
Well,
Yeah,
Brock
because
Lesnar,
it's not the time for that to happen, though. That is something that I think most people would like to see. I was more talking about the Rumble build, and it's kind of like, okay, so yes, Raw and SmackDown are what they are, but I at least have to give like credit where credit is due, and WWE is finally doing what they should do and build towards a pay-per-view. The last two have been abysmal. You can say what you want about Survivor Series. It was an overnight build. It didn't need 4 weeks of build to get where it was. The Rumble is taking its time. They're building people that are going to be in it. Good decision to have Brock Lesnar enter first. I know it's not for the championship, though I thought it was originally. But it gives that much more intrigue, a little bit of a swerve on the Rumble, and people are like, it's constantly being mentioned. They're building towards the matches around the Rumble. Say what you will about them, but at least there's build week in, week out for this pay-per-view. So I have to give credit there. And I was also going to talk about the fucking Daniel Bryan Fiend strap match.
Oh God.
Why?
Okay, so yeah, well, I'm just gonna touch on a couple of the matches, but I don't know, because this is the WWE's way of building. I don't fucking know.
I mean, he's a gimmick. Does he need a gimmick match all the fucking time? You're just doubling down on his gimmick, and it's just gonna be shit.
Okay, so
That just
did you
sucks.
watch? Did you watch SmackDown Friday?
I did.
Did you hear what Daniel Bryan said?
I mean, it makes sense. And when he said
Well,
why he wants a strap match or whatever, there's sense to it. But at the same time, it's like historically those matches are fucking garbage.
No, you're right, and I get it. I'm just saying that if you're saying, well, why is it happening? That's why it's happening, because Daniel Bryan said he's always running away.
But he's
So
not.
Yeah, he is.
When
he tried
when
going
he's
back.
in the middle of the ring, he fought him and lost. In the middle of the ring, he didn't run away.
No. I'm tired. Never mind. What I'm trying to say is what happened Friday night.
Okay, so if you look at if we want to assume that we have goldfish memory, then yes, it made sense in a capsule that he wants to have a strap match. But it's also a really stupid idea for him to do it, and he did mention that. I don't like the idea that Kane was there, but it made sense. It's hard to shit on the logic that WWE is doing. It's just like nobody wants to see that match type. The match type is not intriguing to watch.
Yeah, I mean,
and it's just another nail in the coffin for the Fiend because it's gimmick after gimmick after gimmick, red lights, and now with the strap, and it's just going to be. I know it's going to be shit.
Yeah.
Not only that, but I feel like I understand why they brought Kane back because he was a huge part of like the Yes Movement and like that whole era. But it feels to me like they're basically just rehashing the Yes Movement with Daniel Bryan all over again, and them bringing Kane back just kind of solidifies that that's exactly what they're doing. They're not giving him any kind of a new spin or anything like that. They're literally just redoing everything that he's already done.
I don't think Kane is sticking around. I think he was just there for that night.
I mean, I get that, but I'm just saying for like that quick pop. You know what I'm saying? Like, bring Kane back and it's a quick pop, and I understand he's not going to be around for the whole thing, but even just having him there for that one night is like flashing it back for me, and I don't understand why they're not doing something different.
The thing is, we've entered the same place as we've entered before with the Fiend, where he's in a situation wrestling someone where nobody, like anybody that wins is going to hurt the other person more drastically than the person winning. Like, in no world should Daniel Bryan beat the Fiend at this point in time. Mm-hmm. But pushing all this Yes Movement and building him up that way just to lose, I don't know, man. They're trying to retread old ground with Daniel Bryan, and I think they're gonna try to put him as the underdog again, or try to do that. But you can't make a guy a champion and then turn him into an underdog again. It doesn't work very well.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're trying too hard, in my opinion, for it. Bayley is taking on Lacey Evans. Lacey Evans beat Bayley Friday. That's why she's getting the title shot.
I could care less about this feud, personally.
I actually really like what they're doing with
Lacey Evans is actually, to me, she has improved. She has come farther than when she first got there.
And I really like what they're doing. Better. I'm sorry, Basement, go ahead.
She's definitely getting better, but they need to, and I mean need to stop with this Southern Belle bullshit. Actually, she's got characters clashing. She's two characters at once.
Corey Graves. I'm sorry, Gina. Corey Graves actually said it when she was coming out to the ring. He said she needs to come out like the Marine that she was. Which is what I've been asking for, and I think we have all been asking for that for, I don't know, since her debut.
No, I don't want her to come out being a legitimate Marine with like all the clothing on and shit like that.
No.
Give her that edge that she needs and get rid of the Southern Belle shit.
She needs to come out how she was when she first debuted in NXT. Like she had the Marine type get up, but yet it was also like feminine and wrestler oriented. But you can definitely tell that it was a Marine type get up. But I do like what they're doing with her, with the storyline with her daughter, because it's kind of bringing out that more badass side of her. You know, like the mama bear is coming out, and you're seeing a different side of Lacey Evans.
I mean, in my opinion, the Rumble match should be Lacey Evans versus Sasha Banks. That feud has prepared itself to kind of culminate here, and I know they're going to stretch it out, but this just seems like you're adding filler to something that doesn't have, for me, the gas to have filler added to it.
I mean, I feel like they're probably going to do Lacey Evans versus Sasha. I'm going to say like Possibly WrestleMania.
I'm thinking it's going to happen at Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
I don't think he can last at WrestleMania.
No, somebody. They're gonna have to build somebody to face Bailey, and it's either gonna be Lacey or fucking Sasha. One of the
I mean,
two.
if it lasts till Mania, it means Lacey, Sasha Banks, and Bailey, all of them are going to be in that Elimination Chamber match then, or at least Sasha Banks and Lacey Evans will, and that's a good, I guess, segue to get to Mania. I'm okay with that if they do end up doing it. It's just I don't know. Lacey Evans is like torn between two worlds, and she's getting better, but she's still not where she needs to be.
No, I'm really getting. I did not know that Sasha Banks was cutting a record.
Yeah, I mean, who's
What the
gonna,
fuck are
I
they
mean,
doing with her?
I mean, she's Snoop Dogg's cousin, so do you really expect anything less?
Yeah, but I mean,
I can't wait to hear this shit. The way she
And
fucking
she-
talks.
But she's actually a great singer. Like her entrance music, when you hear that person singing, that's her.
Okay.
I don't know.
by
I
the
just
way,
feel like
Bailey's was hers too.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, Bailey's is Sasha's or Bailey?
Bailey's is Bailey's.
Bailey. Her old
Oh
theme
wow, I
song.
didn't see that coming.
the
But-
producer of Sasha's album is DJ Skinny Penis.
No, it's not. But anyway,
No,
so
it's
moving
not.
then
on.
it's definitely gonna fail. But I think it's gonna fall flat no matter what. I mean, I haven't yet to see a WWE superstar transition between one and the other. Like you had John Cena's fucking bullshit, you had Elias's bullshit, and though they had their moments in the sun, it's just I hate someone to be pigeonholed in that gimmick because I don't like that gimmick of being like, oh, I'm a recording rap star or some shit.
Actually, I'm going to. Anybody got any thoughts on anything we've talked about so far? Ronnie?
Yeah, it's hard for me because I don't watch SmackDown and Raw anymore, so I just kind of look at Twitter.
You should. Because actually, they are getting better. It's just taking a while. I mean, they're
SmackDown
not-
has kind of impressed me with their it's not a good show, but they've kind of like turned the corner to put their hand down on long-term or more longer-term story building.
Yeah.
You might not like the story that they're building, but they're still at least devoting themselves to build over time instead of having the show be like, I could skip 18 SmackDowns and know what's happening.
You kind of need to know what's going on there. Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, other than Twitter or what I said, I saw what happened with Mandy and Otis because that was on the WWE YouTube. But, I mean, just following it through Twitter and what you guys put in the chat, I mean, I kind of know what's going on, but it's just to sit there and watch it. I haven't watched it since the Lana and Lashley wedding for Raw or SmackDown.
Actually, after
That was
that,
the last time I watched it too.
SmackDown actually went up in viewership. It's almost was 2.6 million people. It is the highest rated show for 18 to 34-year-olds.
I mean, SmackDown.
So-
Don't get me wrong. SmackDown is now like this is the difference. It's still a 5 out of 10 or whatever you want to call it, but it has the potential to be a 6 or 7 instead of it being a 5 out of 10 with the potential to be a 2.
They have what they have to do, and I think what they are doing, and I think this is coming to fruition. They are actually just waning these stories out to WrestleMania, having WrestleMania, and then they're going to start new.
You know what though?
More
I do
storylines.
want to see what they do after WrestleMania because this is WrestleMania season, and just like always, the stories get a bit more intriguing or a bit more build to them as the time goes on. If they go back to literally not needing to watch SmackDown or Raw from week to week just because the stories don't matter, we'll see what happens there.
Right.
That's going to be the test. But I have no trust in them. I think they're going to go back to where they were.
They may, but we'll see. But yeah, so Bobbit, Trek.
I think Bailey's gotten better as a heel, but two things they need to teach her better how to cut better promos.
Butter promo?
Better promos.
Better promo?
She needs to learn She needs to work on the promo cutting.
Her and Sasha Banks need to, because I
Yeah,
can't
Sasha
stand
Banks
either of them.
sucks.
Well, they need to get them away from each other. They need to separate those two.
No,
They need to go to acting school.
They need to be in a storyline, but they need to be on opposite ends of that storyline.
Yeah.
They don't need to be buddy. I'm sorry. They should have pulled the trigger on that fucking feud that they were teasing.
Yeah.
For fucking 2 years.
Exactly.
And it's ultimately they're teasing it now because it's going to get to a point where Sasha is going. If you've listened to Sasha and what she has said, she's essentially saying I'm better than everybody. And Bayley's going to be like, look, bitch, I'm the fucking champion. No, seriously. And that's.
But by the time that happens, you won't care about either of them.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
But that's. They're trying to do. And they're just taking way too long for it. So Lacey Evans is the go-between for this. But WWE, in their infinite wisdom, strike while the iron is hot, which fucking Daniel Bryan is almost as over as the Fiend is right now. Right. So I can just see it now. How come you didn't put the title on Daniel Bryan? I can just see it now. And the WWE's going to be like, well, Jesus fucking Christ.
They booked themselves into another corner with The Fiend.
It's true.
Well, like I was saying last night when we were doing Wrestling Memories, the strap match is going to be, they get in the ring, they fight for a little while, and then that trap doors go open, and he's going to pull Bryan down in. You're not going to see half the match. He's going to spit him back out, and he's going to win.
No, I don't see that happening. I don't see them pulling. That makes no sense to pull them all under the ring and then have the match end. I don't get.
The thing is, The Fiend has turned into a less charismatic fucking Hulk Hogan in ring, because all he does is just take moves and get up, and it's like,
yep.
Man, there's just no believability anymore at this point in time. Daniel Bryan will exhaust his moveset on The Fiend and then lose.
Yeah.
No, that's right. I don't mean that the match will end because he pulls him in. I mean the match he'll get pulled under the ring. They'll say, "Oh, they're fighting under the ring." He'll get spit back out, and they'll pin him and he'll win. You won't see after the match.
That is just that. I hope that don't.
Don't be
happen.
Surprised if it doesn't happen. Though.
I hope it don't happen. That'd be stupid because they can't even fight under the fucking ring. How does that make any sense?
I know, but then they'll say, "Oh, he's in the Fiend's world now, and there's bigger."
He's in the Fiend's world. We're in the Fiend's world during that fucking match.
The Fiend will beat him and pull him down in with the strap, or some stupid shit's gonna happen. Something stupid's gonna happen.
That makes more sense.
Well, if they're gonna do the trapdoor shit, they better wait till after. They better save that till the very end, because then otherwise they're gonna have to fix the damn ring 10 minutes.
They will.
Correct. Did you not watch the show Friday? It was the very first. It was the very first thing they did.
Yeah.
That trapdoor is set there now. It's a trapdoor.
It sucks, man. I don't care about this thing. It is what it is. You know it's gonna be shit.
Yeah, but yep. So it is what it is. So
especially with that, the red lighting seems they've gotten a little bit better. They
has it? It's brighter now, but
it has not.
No, it has not.
Gotten
it's still
worse.
As bad as it's always been,
and it's not going anywhere anytime soon. So
no, because that tweet that he put out that said, "I am immortal with the red lighting," or said, "The red light makes me immortal." It's like, then just have someone pay him to shut that off, and that's what the storylines.
The red lighting makes you unwatchable, my friend.
Fucking sorry, I'm watching a fucking battle royal. Dakota Kai just threw her fucking knee brace.
I am watching the UFC fight, and Conor McGregor's about ready to come on.
Who cares? Fuck him. I hope he gets knocked the fuck out. I hope he gets knocked the fuck out.
He gets whiskey the whole night.
He's a fucking piece of shit. Anyway,
I think it's his dick ripped
really
off.
Like him because he is such a fucking dick.
No, he's a piece of shit. He's not a dick. He's a piece of shit.
Yeah, he's a garbage person.
He's a fucking
totally garbage person, but I like him as a fighter. So.
You know what I want to see happen?
What?
I'd love for WWE to pull a page out of the WCW playbook here.
Anyway, so
well, hold on.
I have no idea what
I
you
I was
want
gonna
to
say
see
we're
that
getting robotic
hold on.
puppets.
match at WrestleMania.
Okay, hold on, Bob. Say that again, please, because you were chopping up.
I want to see Daniel Bryan versus The Fiend in a monster truck match at WrestleMania.
All right.
Oh my god.
Bobbitt's
man.
fired, and I should have just listened to JP and let him move on.
I want Daniel Bryan to pull out a fucking gun and shoot the Fiend in the head and have this whole fucking shit over with.
So I agree with you 100% because we all
Christ.
know where the Fiend is going. Straight to the fucking toilet.
Well, the best part was I just pulled it up. I mean, they did bring Ramblin' Rabbit back again this week after they killed him.
Ramblin' Rabbit is always dying and then being
He's
brought
an
back.
immortal Time Lord. He can't die. He just regenerates. Damn it.
that's
I can't
fair.
watch those segments anymore. I literally
I
hate them.
love them.
They're stupid.
I love them because it reminds me of like super creepy Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, but it's gone past the point of being that because now it's way overexposed.
It reminds me of Kenny from South Park because he dies
Oh,
and comes
see-
back every week.
I loved it when it first came on because it was Mr. Rogers vamped up to 1,000 in like the creep level, but now it's just kind of
Now you see it every night, maybe twice a night, and it's
yeah.
like,
It would have been
stop.
something. I wouldn't have minded if we saw it every week if we didn't see the Fiend every week.
They've done the
Um,
exact same thing with the Fiend that they did with Bray Wyatt and overexposed him to the
Mhm.
point where he's unwatchable.
And the reason why he got overexposed is because if they wouldn't show the Fiend every week, then the fans would lose their fucking mind.
Yeah, the reason they got overexposed were the fans and then them listening to them. 100%.
Well, the reason he got overexposed is because it was a $10,000 belt.
That has nothing to do with it.
That has
$10,000 is nothing, or $100,000 is nothing to
That's
WWE.
not
That's
why.
No, for the
fucking
fans.
pocket change.
No, it's talking about the fucking Fiend
No,
face
belt.
on a $10,000 belt.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I got you now.
Whatever.
I thought you were talking about the actual belt. I was like, that's nothing to them.
No, the fact that they want the fans to buy it, and I believe last time we looked at shop, it was sold out anyway. It's not popping up.
Okay, I'm gonna say this right now. Anybody out there that pays $10,000 for a fucking belt, what are you thinking?
Well, number one, it's not $10,000. It's $7,000.
I'm sorry.
Excuse me.
If you pay $7,000 for a belt, you have too much time on your hands. That's what I'm going to
You
tell
got too
you.
much
And
money
number
in the
two,
bank.
this is a problem with the fucking fans wanting shit, and WWE's like, oh, so you want us to build toys?
Yeah, they're
That's
not a
what it
toy
is.
factory. That's
I
they
just
are-
think everybody should go out and get the waffle maker and the coffee pot and the crock pot. Because it's all, you can use it to cook.
WWE is Disney
wa-
Junior.
But the waffle maker, do you actually get to make like Bray Wyatt's face in a waffle?
No, it's just the WWE logo.
Oh,
Just
fuck.
take a shit in the waffle maker and close it. There's Bray Wyatt.
Jesus.
So yeah, I mean, look, WWE, and then SmackDown with Braun Strowman. I don't know what they're fucking doing with him again. Are they going to take the
Well.
title? Are they going to take the title off of Shinsuke?
No.
You sure? Because they sure are fucking.
Who cares?
We
The title
thought-
means
Oh, we
nothing.
thought they were going to do that with the Universal title. Look what happened there.
I'm sorry to change the subject real quick, but I was gonna ask you guys about KO on Raw, that dive that he took off the stage.
Oh,
That was
the
awesome.
the skateboard. We've been saying that
Yeah.
there's going to be somebody that was going to do something like that when they
Yeah.
fucking first. Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty cool move, but who cares?
We were kind of, but I mean, my point to that was like
What?
we called it when they first came out with that new stage. We're like, who's gonna be the first person to do that?
Yeah, I mean, wasn't the first person that would have come to mind, but
Right?
I thought
That's
we
what made it.
did.
That's what made it so good for me, though.
was it really good?
I mean, it was because
I
I
liked
didn't
it.
watch the show and I only seen the clip on.
It was
Twitter.
great.
It was great.
Well, he had to do it since Jeff Hardy's gone for right now, so.
Jeff Hardy is never going to wrestle again.
he's
in
not.
WWE.
He's not coming back.
The reason
not
I
to
say that
WWE anyway.
is I don't want to see him wrestle in WWE. I could care less.
Well, it's
would
Braun
absolutely-
Strowman.
Well, the thing is, I would absolutely love
The big
I would
show.
absolutely love to see Jeff Hardy come back if he could get his shit together. But the problem is He gets his shit together for a short time, and then he loses his shit all over again.
You're betting on a horse that has like 3 legs.
Exactly.
Oh, jeez.
Exactly, and that's unfortunate. I mean, but it is what it is.
So they did have and it kind of went about the way that I was expecting it to go. That fist fight, the way it went, I was expecting it to go exactly the way it did. Kevin Owens did that flip and fucking he didn't get up, and then Samoa Joe, they think they powerbombed Samoa Joe or something through a table,
Yeah.
and then
On-
fucking they
on
all beat
Kevin
the
Owens.
shit out, and then the referee just stopped the match right there because nobody responded to anything. So that's how they did it. Didn't make Kevin Owens or Samoa Joe look weak. It didn't make, well, they made Big Show look like a fool, but who cares?
What else is new?
And
We're talking about
this-
a guy that they made have wear a diaper at one point in
But
time.
this is the thing. This is why I don't think Big Show is going to be part of this whole fucking story. I think
He'll be in the
just
Royal
there.
Rumble.
He'll be in the Royal Rumble, but that doesn't mean that he's going to be involved in the storyline with Kevin Owens and fucking Seth Rollins.
And Kane
He
will be in the
wasn't-
Royal Rumble.
No,
That's their
he
whole.
Kane,
supposed to be
I don't think Kane's going to be part of the Royal Rumble.
No, I
we need to
think-
make a
Oh
bet
my
on
God.
this. We need to make a bet on this.
I just don't
No,
think.
he
I don't
was
think
just
he'll
there
be a
to
part.
promote it, what I've heard.
I don't think he'll be a part of it. And that's fine if you think he's going to be a part of it, but I
So
just don't
the
see
the
him.
loser of this bet takes a shot of hot sauce.
No, I can't do hot sauce, man. Otherwise, I would.
No, we're not doing pickle juice again either because you got sick last time.
I can't do hot sauce. Hot sauce makes me deathly sick. I can't. Otherwise, I would. I'll do a shot.
You know
of
what?
Southern
He
Comfort.
tried. No, he tried to make this bet with me, where I would drink hot sauce. But the thing is, he has the hot sauce that doesn't taste like it's fucking hot. I know yours Tricks Basement. You sent me the fucking website.
No, it tastes like it's hot. You haven't tasted it.
I have not tasted it, but it
Well,
doesn't
that
burn your
part-
inside.
It burns all of your insides.
It backfired on Basement because he had to drink the pickle juice and
I
everything
know,
with shit.
but then it backfired on me because
Okay,
then
how
he got
about this?
sick.
Loser of the bet has to take a shot of Fireball.
Or okay, the loser of
Yeah,
the
but
bet has to take a
Fireball's
shot
not gonna-
of liquor. There we go.
I'll
Yeah, I was
do
gonna
that.
say
I'll
Fireball-
do if I
Fireball's not
lose.
going to be good for
If I
Jakey's
lose,
stomach.
I will do a shot of Southern.
And you're
There you
gonna lose, so you might as well take it now.
No, no. You're gonna lose. You take a shot.
All right, fine.
Let, let me let me think. What else? Anything else in WWE that I'm overlooking? Well, NXT. I just finished watching it. Keith Lee is facing Roderick Strong next week for the North American title. I don't see Keith Lee winning here, but I do see him getting another shot at TakeOver Portland. Something's going to happen where he doesn't win tonight or that night. I did love, if you didn't watch it, Matt Riddle and fucking Pete Dunne are an awesome tag team. That if you haven't watched it, you need to. Excellent match. Oh, for fuck's sake. Let me see what else. Bianca Belair is the #1 contender for the women's title, and I just seen the end of that, and good. They need to change her fucking character. I can't.
But because
15-year-old.
because of the way that she like over celebrated, like as I said, I didn't get a chance to watch the match, but I heard that she kind of over celebrated at the end, and that kind of makes me believe that she's gonna lose at TakeOver.
Oh, she's gonna lose.
They're not going to pull the
They're
belt
not
off
gonna-
of Rhea
no.
Ripley that early.
Why would they pull? And I'm not saying that you think that. Why would they pull the belt off one of
Right.
their future, like right now? And if they do it, they have a reason to do it.
Yeah.
Bianca Belair, I think, is actually going to lose, and then I actually think she's going to go to SmackDown or Raw, man.
That may be.
They'll go to Raw with their husband.
Yeah,
she'll go to Raw.
Not to be like his valet, but just to be on the same program. Because they've
She
been putting
will
a couple.
She'll be there telling us what happened on Raw.
I actually heard, and again, just rumor, but I heard that there is a very good chance that Shayna Baszler is going to get called up to Raw, and that is going to lead to Ronda Rousey coming back.
I mean, I feel like anytime somebody's, I just don't, I don't know what they're gonna do with her. I could see Shayna Baszler leaving. I could see Bianca Belair leaving, and I could not see a huge impact to the women's division. They have enough on NXT to float for a while, and it gives a chance for some of the other talent to come up and do something with them.
But especially since Shotzi Blackheart's she's gonna be a big star.
She looks like she could be. She impressed me at the Evolve that she did.
Yeah. Well, the way that they set up that program between her and Baszler, Winston, they're gonna give her a big push. So.
Well, yeah, I don't know how big of a push they're going to give her right away. I mean, she is only
No,
24 years old, and she's only been wrestling for a couple of years. But
yeah, just over time. I mean, not right away, but just like over time.
So there's that. Essentially, SmackDown was pretty alright. I didn't have a problem with SmackDown. SmackDown was okay. But WWE they're coasting, but they are building, like Baseman said, they are doing okay job of building to the Royal Rumble. A lot better than what it used to be. It used to be, okay, we're going to throw 30 people in the fucking match and we'll have our few surprises. I don't know how many surprises they're going to have.
I still feel like WWE drops the ball with the Royal Rumble because you should have matches like where people are. I used to love when like they did the like, oh, here are the balls in the back, and I pulled number 1 and I'm worth 5, and you pulled number 25. Let's have a match where if I win, I'm 25, you're 5. There's way to like add a bit of flavor to the people that are going to enter the ring that people already know that they're going to be there instead of just I'm announcing myself for the Rumble. It's like,
Yeah.
why are you allowed to do this?
Yeah, I liked it better when it was like the last two guys to have a match, whoever lost entered at number 1. That was cool.
Well, I
even if
actually
they
liked
did
the
on
ball
pre-show.
thing.
Even if they did on the pre-show. Sorry, go
I
ahead.
liked the ball thing because like they did that on the pre-show. So then, yeah, you might have known who was going to be in the Rumble for the most part, but it was always like that. You didn't find out until that night. Is what I'm saying.
Well, I would have loved like the pre-show being like, oh, you got 2 guys like that are super talented that are just lower card or lower mid card or whatever you want to call them that just wrestle, and the winner of that is in the Rumble. Where they are doesn't matter, but just like do a little bit of like, this is why this person is in the Rumble instead of just saying I'm in the Rumble.
Right.
Oh, the R-Truth shit with this past week was fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
I'm declaring myself from the Rumble.
R-Truth is a fucking he's gold,
It's
man.
so funny.
Okay, so that real quick, and then we'll move on. He ended up losing the 24/7 title to Mojo Rawley,
Mojo.
and I really don't fucking care.
My man Mojo. I'm the only one on this call that actually likes Mojo.
He's
And I don't
a
know
I
what.
like that.
I hate him.
And
I hate
then
him, too.
R-Truth
Can't
won it
wrestle.
back last night,
Tough.
and then Mojo won it back from him right afterwards. It's getting ridiculous.
This they need to get rid of the title. That's all I'm gonna fucking say. It's a waste of fucking time. They don't do anything with it, and then when they do something with it, and it always like they have some important match that's going on, and then all of a sudden you get fucking like 10 guys running around the fucking ring chasing fucking whoever is
that
the
title
fucking
is.
stupid.
I'm telling you right now,
Okay,
that title is going nowhere.
Okay,
It's
but
going to
here's
be there
the
for a
thing.
while.
I think that title could have been used in a proper manner because if they would have put it on somebody, let's say you have an up and comer or even somebody that's been there for a while, but you want to give them a push, you put that title on them, which is what I thought that they were doing with Mojo after Monday night. Because after he came out with that promo, I thought, okay, maybe this is going to be, he's getting a little bit of a push. They're going to put this title on him. It's going to have a little bit of dependency, But then they have him lose it last night, but then win it right back again. So they're doing the same thing all over again that they've been doing. They had a chance to legitimize this title in a sense, but they fucking went way left on it.
Mojo Rawley's not going to legitimize the title.
First of all, the title
I
is
don't
not going
mean
to
it
ever
like
be
that.
legitimized to begin with.
But no, what I'm saying is when it first started, it could have been legitimized by somebody. Like, put it on somebody that you want to push, and have it on that person, and have them defend that title for a while before they lose it. But instead, they turned it into a circus title.
Well, it's become the roll-up title now. It's like roll up for the win, roll up for the win. They don't put effort into it. They're like chase them around the ring, roll up for the win, chase them around the ring, roll up for the win. It's
But
like,
I will say, like, what title have they actually put effort into? I mean, bottom line is this is the comedy belt. It's there for like any form of comedy that they want to put in for a 15-minute segment. That's the reason that belt exists, and that's the reason it will always exist until it's dead. It'll last longer than anybody wants it to. But here we are, and 24/7 titles here to stay for at least another year in my mind.
It'll last until they just like don't bring it up anymore. It just disappears. It's like where'd it go? It's like, oh, who cares?
Oh God, McGregor's kicking this guy's ass. Sorry.
You should be.
No, you don't even know. McGregor's got him down on the ground, pounding his ass. We're talking wrestling. Gina, shut up.
No, well,
Sorry.
it sounds like you're watching gay porn, man.
I'm sorry, you guys. I'm watching UFC in the background too, so that's why
No, it's
I apologize.
No, it's
So-
all right.
I did like on NXT when it was kind of the reunion of DIY. That was pretty cool.
Oh my God, are you kidding me? Sorry.
Yeah, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
Conor McGregor with the win.
Knocked his fucking ass out in like, what was it, like 30 seconds?
Probably.
I don't even know who this guy is.
Nobody
Sloan, he's a guy.
Jesus.
Conor McGregor's a piece of
Good
shit.
job.
So, anyway, moving on. AEW signed a new extension, 4-year extension through 2023.
That's good. It's good on them. They're making decent numbers. It makes sense for them signing the extension.
Okay, so here's my thing. And whatever. I don't fucking care. Sign them to a fucking 50-year deal. Is it gonna make me watch the show? Is that gonna make people watch the show just because it signed a 4-year fucking deal? No.
No, I mean, but it's not even about that.
Wow,
It's just the
people
fact that
made
they're
it
good
about
enough.
this. See, that's the thing. People made it about that.
Yeah, but the people that made it about that is the people I don't listen to anyway. So
Right.
it's good on them to get a more different product out there that's now going to be out there for at least 4 more years. They've got time on their side to develop the product they want to, whether it's the product for me or you or fucking whoever. It is what it is. I'm excited to see that they did it because I don't want them to go anywhere.
No. But I'm not gonna go out of my way to watch a show just because I got signed to a 4-year deal. That being said, part of that deal, and I don't know if that was part of the deal, but part of the deal is that they are going to be doing a new show. What that new show is, I do not
It's
know.
AEW Dark.
It's gonna be AEW Dark drifting over on
Are
Saturday night.
you sure? Have they said that, or are you just speculating?
That's where I've been. Hearing. That's what.
Okay,
that's
there's
what
nothing definitive that's been laid out yet. Like, there's speculations that it's going to be AEW Dark, but I don't think that that's going to be it because AEW Dark is basically solidifying their YouTube channel right now. So I think it's going to be something else.
Well, if it's a wrestling show, and when I say that, I mean in-ring centric, they're fucked.
Yeah, it's pretty much gonna be Saturday nights only because they can't. They said they already don't want to fight with WWE. It won't be on Mondays. They're sure still not gonna put them on Tuesdays when basketball's on.
They hardly have the roster to do one show.
I know. It's gonna be Thunder all over again.
It should be just a show.
Yep. It should be like
everything's happening too fast, man. Everything is too fast. These guys should have waited a year until they even tried to build up your roster. You have problems on Dynamite that you're not even addressing. You just think, we need to be bigger, faster, bigger, faster.
For me, I'll be okay if it's a wrestling centric show that lasts for like maybe an hour. I don't know about another 2-hour long show.
Well, even if it's an hour, they struggle putting on 2 hours of.
Yeah, but they do have a lot of talent that sits in the back, hence why AEW Dark is a thing.
But no, they don't.
they actually do, because AEW Dark has a lot of talent that's showcased
AEW
on there.
Dark has a lot of the talent that's on on Dynamite.
Yeah, but not on the same week.
Okay, you're gonna put these guys on a different show. You're gonna overexpose your talent. Not everybody needs to wrestle every week, to a point where now, like, they are struggling getting one show right. You do not introduce another show at this point in time. In my honest opinion, if it's in-ring centric, it's not, and they don't get rid of Dynamite, they don't get rid of Dark, or it's not Dark moving over with a bit more flair, then they don't have the roster to do it. They really do not. You're gonna see Kenny Omega fight 3 times in 1 week, and does anybody want that?
The problem is, like,
I do.
Right, Ronnie pipes and I do. The problem that I see is I would love to see more wrestling from AEW. I'm not gonna lie, I like AEW. Yeah, you guys have your opinions. I have mine. However,
isn't it enough though?
However, where I see them having a problem is they might have just enough talent to make it stretch, but what happens when injuries start to occur?
I'm thinking that idea right now with Dynamite. If injuries start to occur with Dynamite, they're fucked. The women's division is unwatchable, yet you're getting a green light to have another show. What are you going to put on that?
Okay, so go ahead, Basement.
No, that's it.
So Variety saying that Kevin Riley, who's in charge of Warner Media, said AEW will migrate to TNT and be the new second show.
What, AEW?
So Dark?
AEW Dark.
Okay, well, it makes sense. I hadn't heard anything definitive. So their Basement, shut your mouth pie hole. It's the same fucking show.
That's what I said from the beginning. I said it was probably going to be Dark migrating there. And if that's the case, then I'm okay. They're going to do another hour TV show for the shit that goes on with a live audience that they're not going to show on Dynamite. I'm okay with that. But when it became they're going to do Dark, yet another TV show, it's like, oh my God.
Here's what Kevin Riley said. He said, "We just figured let's bring it onto the network and make it a place where you truly plant up incoming talent." He said, "I think we'll start doing more packages there and filming some behind-the-scenes stuff. Not for the matches that night, but with our talent to plant stories and grow things that could eventually become another show in and of itself." And that's AEW Dark moving to.
Okay, so they're planting seeds.
Yep.
Okay, so basically they're going to have the matches that they have on Dark, but then they're going to have storylines and shit being told for the rest of Dark, planting seeds for another, either for Dynamite or for another potential show. That makes sense.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, like, at least they're not diving headfirst into another show.
But they need to fix.
Well, and even with being the Elite, and I don't know if you've noticed it, Gina, but they're only like 10 minutes now. They're not.
Yeah, and
they're real short now, and they could probably incorporate that stuff with the Dark.
Well, yeah, and they're not even really on being the Elite. It's not so much with the storytelling anymore. I mean, yeah, you've had a few segments with Hangman Page, but otherwise, like, they don't have to tell their stories on Elite anymore. I mean, they might have a few little funny snippets or something that has to do with the storyline, but otherwise, and then, if you do this new show with Dark, then you can pretty much eliminate. Like, I'm pretty sure being the Elite would probably go back to just like a travel blog, like it started out as.
Right. Because even with the Young Bucks, I mean, we know they don't have the Twitter anymore, but I've seen that they've tweeted out on the All Elite Twitter, and they mentioned it with being the Elite. That, I mean, I guess that's how they're connecting with the fans, like with the mailbag and stuff like that. But I've just noticed that the last couple weeks, they haven't been any more than 10 to 12 minutes now.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, though, like, when it comes to television in general, not just wrestling, it took The Walking Dead 6 seasons to get a spinoff, and that's a show that does way more numbers than wrestling could ever potentially do nowadays.
That spinoff is, I'm sorry, but that spinoff's not that great.
Yeah, but I'm just using it as a talking point because you have now, 4 months under your belt as a show. It's a bit too early to do another. We'll see how it goes, but They don't have the roster to do it. Even Dark is like an overexposure of talent because it is the same wrestlers that they show on Dynamite. Not that
No,
night.
it's not.
Not that night. But they're still the same wrestler. Like I don't. This is like when Raw and SmackDown were one roster. Raw and SmackDown were the same fucking show.
I think what Basement is saying is we seen Ray Phoenix the week before, and then we see him on Dark the following week. So what he's saying is I don't want to see Kenny Omega. I don't want to see Joey Janela. I don't want to
understand
see
why you guys are bitching anyway, because you guys don't watch Dark anyway.
Okay,
so.
but I think what he.
Well, I mean, it's
I'm not
just
bitching.
the opinion.
I'm explaining to you.
The opinion's more about overexposure of the small roster that they have. WWE had a bigger roster, and they were still overexposing their talents. They were doing it a bit more because like when Raw and SmackDown weren't differentiated, you'd have Roman Reigns and everything. Yep. And I'm not going to say that that's what they're going to do, but like when you don't go a week without somebody, like like absence makes the heart grow fonder, and that is true to form with wrestling. I do not want to see somebody wrestle every week. I don't need to.
No, you don't. So.
And they need to figure out the issues with their own show before they start spreading out.
I agree.
It's too soon.
WCW did that with Thunder, and that's what killed WCW. It had a lot to do with what killed WCW. Yeah. Because nobody wanted to do the show. Because it was a second-rate show.
Done this. Yeah. WWE's done the exact same thing, and that was the era where I stopped watching it. So I'm not saying it's going to be bad because I have no idea. I just see like a struggling point with it.
Yeah,
for them.
Well, there's an article on Forbes that once that announcement popped up from AEW that said, "How long until WWE counter programs this show?"
I hope not, because if they counter program, WWE's gonna have fucking every night wrestling.
They have it's called Backstage.
Yeah, WWE Backstage. That was their way of counteracting Dark.
But on WWE Dark, they don't wrestle; they talk. It's just a talk show.
You mean WWE Backstage?
Did I say WWE Dark?
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Okay, so WWE Backstage is a talk show. It's not. There's no wrestling on it at all.
I have a feeling like the next show they're gonna do.
So it's not a counteraction to fucking AEW Dark. You can't even compare the two.
And it was an idea from Fox, not WWE.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like the next AEW show, the way I would probably do it is like exactly like Ronnie said. You take being the elite and you infuse that into that show. You have it be 30 minutes of story building and 30 minutes of wrestling. So you have 2 matches and a bunch of storytelling, and it helps build up Dynamite. That essentially is how I would use that show. You're not going to get probably the viewership, but you're still going to like be maybe building up the viewership for the main show.
Right.
Well, wasn't AEW talk about doing the studio show too at one point?
That's what they should do, but that's just my opinion.
They don't have enough talkers to do that.
I personally
they just
think that if
signed
they do the
Taz.
show, yeah, and I think that that's what they signed Taz.
Yeah, I was going to say, because
for.
he's not doing his podcast anymore. He's going to be on the commentary team.
Which commentary team? Full time?
AEW.
AEW Dark or whatever it is, that the new show.
They're getting rid of.
I mean, I can't like say with any certainty until I see it happen.
Me neither.
But I do worry because AEW Dynamite, it's not where it needs to be to make another show in my mind.
I'm with you on that. I hope they succeed, but my God, this is exactly what WCW tried doing.
Yep.
And if TNT's trying to goat them into this, I think long and hard about doing it.
The only way WWE succeeded in doing this is because they had so many top talents at that point in time.
Yes.
It just worked. SmackDown was The Rock's show. The Rock was as big as Stone Cold. They had a bunch of literally like 5 to 10 fucking main eventers all at once.
True.
So
Not only
I mean,
that,
we'll see what happens.
they made it mandatory that they had to be there. Not like for WCW, they sat there and pulled sick days.
It's in the if you go and watch the Monday Night Wars thing on, it explains it.
I will say though, like they do a show that is utilizing being the elite and building storylines more than it is showing wrestling, and that's the perfect way to actually put that out there, because that's something that AEW Dynamite hurts from at time, because some of the storylines are being built in the world of YouTube instead of being built on the show.
Yep.
So if you put them on TV and you make it a must watch for that reason, I can get behind that.
Okay. Anybody else got anything they'd like to add on AEW? Show is okay. As there's a couple of things I want to talk about. The one thing I do want to talk about real quick, and that is the women's match that happened.
Oh.
Now, I've seen some pretty bad botches before. I don't. Basement said it's on the person on the outside. The kick I disagree with. Chris Statlander didn't even move her fucking foot. She just slapped her hip.
The thing is, the girl on the outside was too far for everything she did.
And I understand
the kick
that.
And the moonsault.
I understand that, but she didn't even give an effort to move her foot. She just slapped her leg. And that was it. I had a problem with that. The flip, I can understand. But the kick, the back kick or whatever it is, that was on her as well. She was part of the problem there. Now, and that just killed the show for me. Right.
It didn't. That didn't kill the show for me, because like botches happen. It was a back-to-back botch, which was bad, but it was also a terrible match to begin with. So it's not like the botch really stood out to me. I mean, the women's wrestling is absolutely garbage on AEW. It's unwatchable garbage. The rest of the show, though, I thought was decent. And I said this when I was watching it. I mean, AEW is missing having a serious storyline, and I know they're trying to do it with Cody Rhodes and MJF. Cody Rhodes is serious as fuck, and he's doing his job. MJF is a fucking clown. He's good as that, but he's too clownish. He's more clownish than Chris Jericho. And Chris Jericho can make a storyline work with like a serious storyline work, because he straddles that line of being a clown yet being serious.
Yeah.
MJF was flopping around like a fish out of water in his match. I'm like, this guy's selling like fucking Shawn Michaels against Hogan, and it did not hit home for me. They need some balance, where they do need seriousness to offset the silliness they want to do.
They do.
I'm 100% down for like the fun that AEW wants to have, because I also want to have that fun. But when you're having fun and being silly 85% of the time, it's eventually you're like, come on, guys, just hit me with something that's real.
Yep.
And the Cody Rhodes promo did that, but that was the 15% I'm talking about.
Yeah. I'm not gonna shit on the show. It wasn't my favorite show. I watched it, but it's like, my God, it's like the same show that we see every week.
Yeah, well, that's wrestling for you.
And
I mean,
that's the thing. That's the thing. I've said it, I don't know how many times, and it's not that you can't. Everything in wrestling has been done.
Right.
You can only do so many super kicks in a fucking match before you're like, okay, enough is enough. We get it. You know how to super kick somebody. I don't fucking care who you super kick. You can do it. Congratulations. You can do a fucking super kick. I don't care that you can fucking do a fucking 450 fucking twisting splash. I don't care. It's been done. That's my problem with wrestling right now on AEW, more or less, because they're trying to It's like everybody does the same fucking spot every fucking time. There's always a super kick. Always a super kick in a match. There's
What I
always
mean, it's
it's
the
just
exact same thing that you
oversaturated
see.
bullshit.
My problem is more this is no different than I see on Raw or SmackDown,
You're right.
and even for some point NXT. But it's also the way you do things that's gonna change it up. And I feel like AEW promised that, but has yet to really deliver on it.
Yep.
Because they unfortunately like AEW falls into the realm of being too choreographed a lot of the time. I
Mhm.
thought this AEW wasn't bad, but I also like I'm watching it to expect what I'm going to expect from AEW,
Mhm.
and that's the way that they are. But I also will say like if that's the way that you are, you're going to have a hard time like becoming the A show or even close to it if you're going to pull that type of wrestling constantly.
Right.
I need to see a fight every now and then.
Yep.
And WWE has delivered every now and then with that. NXT has delivered more. But again, like I mean, how many times have we seen the Tower of Doom? The Canadian Destroyer is like as commonplace as a fucking roll up now.
Yep.
For some reason, what the fuck? Why is every wrestling promotion doing this fucking move now?
I don't know because it's cool.
But it's
See,
not.
No,
It's too much. It's too much, man.
I'm
It
with you.
has the same fucking impact now as a headlock.
Yep. And I'm having a real issue with the ranking system now because now the number one contender is just a number.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I feel like with the ranking system, AEW is like there's like if you view AEW like you view WWE, then you won't have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do not, and you're putting a huge investment in understanding why things are this way or that way, the thing is, the writing in AEW is not where the ideas are.
Mm-hmm.
The ideas are far ahead of the writing, where things don't really make sense because you have all of a sudden Pac is like, oh, you got stabbed in the eye. Now I'm now I'm contending for the champion. Like, why is he making that decision? As many people are out there that hate the idea of a GM or some governing force.
Mm-hmm.
They need one, just like every promotion needs one. William Regal works perfectly as a governing force, and you do need it because you need somebody that's outside of the wrestling ring making these decisions. You can't just have a wrestler be like, oh, he got poked in the eye, therefore I am number one contender. Because in my mind, I'm like,
They
who's number
said
one
it
contender?
earlier. I watched it again, Basement, and they said it earlier in the night that if he lost, then Pac would be number one contender.
What? If he lost what, though?
If he lost
If
what?
if Ambrose lost by
But he
any
wasn't
means,
But he didn't lose.
that's the problem.
Well, it's like what happened with Zayn on SmackDown when he comes out and goes, he's like, I'm not gonna give you a title shot. It's like, and then next week you'll see it be on Royal Rumble. Now Strowman gets a Intercontinental title shot. It's like, well, great, but someone just said no.
Who is Sami Zayn to say that fucking Braun Strowman doesn't get a title shot?
Bottom line
No.
is you need a governing force to help build prestige to a title. And
Yeah.
you look at NXT and they do it perfectly with the governing force not being involved to the point where someone's fighting him constantly tooth and nail, or he's not the Vince McMahon or anything like that. He just comes out and says, you know, you guys fucked this up. This is the decision I'm making. That's what's needed, kind of, because at this point in time, it's just otherwise it's just a shit show. You want a championship shot? Go ahead and blind the number one contender, and you get it.
Right, like JP said, who is Sami Zayn? It's like, because, and that's why, they don't have to be there all the time, but it's like, you need some kind of leader there to say, this is the match that's going to happen because he earned his match, so you could do it, so.
Well, with hold on. With WWE, you know who's in charge. They've made it known who's in charge. Who makes these matches?
Yeah, but with WWE, Raw and SmackDown, it doesn't make any sense half the time. Though we know Vince McMahon's in charge, it's like like he's blind throwing a fucking dart at a wall with a bunch of faces on it.
Well,
Well,
okay,
that's how
I'm
all
talking
things.
storyline here. I'm not talking in real life. I get that.
Yeah.
I'm talking in
Storyline
storyline. They
doesn't make sense
actually
either.
it was Triple H, Stephanie, Shane, and Vince came out and said we are going to be making the matches, and they said that when they did the whole "we're going to listen to you" fucking spiel. We're going to start
But
listening to fans,
the matches that they make no sense
and
anyway.
I agree with
NXT
you.
is the
But
only brand that actually makes
what
sense.
right? But what I'm saying to you is, you know who's making these matches. With
Right, but like you
AEW,
said,
you don't know who's making these matches.
right.
That's
But I
essentially
would
what
put
you're saying.
WWE main roster on the same level as AEW in that respect because though I know who's making the matches don't make sense.
Correct.
They make more
No,
sense in AEW for the ranking system. Though it's flawed, it still makes more sense than what WWE main roster does.
I
Well, the
get
other
that.
thing is, too, after we talked about this last night, I went back and the last time they actually posted the rankings was right before the reset.
yeah.
So they haven't even posted, other than when they come out to the ring where you see it under their name. You don't see that weekly
Yeah,
ranking
they
thing
did.
that they used to put out.
Yeah, they did.
You see
They
it
put it out.
constantly, but like I don't even know if a reset happened because all I see is the same fucking records that they had, the
No, a
career
reset
records. That's all
happened.
they're showing.
No, the
Yeah,
reset
the reset
happened.
happened because you see it. It says overall, and then it says current when they
But
come out.
okay, but they have put out a ranking system. I seen it.
Right, but when they used to put it out every Friday, they used to all elite would put out the ranking and say this is your number one men's, this is your number two, this is your number one women's, this is your number one for tag team. They haven't done that since the reset.
Yeah, they
You
just did
just
it the
see
other
it
day.
when they come out, but like to what Basement's saying, you're telling people, okay, he's your number one contender, but then you're putting him in a match to see if he is going to be the number one contender.
Right.
Well, he's already the number one contender. So
Well,
why is he
No,
having
I
to
mean,
prove he's the number one contender?
in my mind, watching AEW week in week out, it makes sense for Pac to be the guy that takes up the helm if Ambrose can't go. But the problem is you have to have this like you have to have someone coming out there and verbally say because I am the governing figure here in AEW and he just got blinded, we are not going to allow him to wrestle for the championship. Therefore, Pac gets it. And then Pac comes out and then Ambrose comes out and is like, fuck that shit. No. That would make more sense to me than the wrestlers shouldering that load because it gets confusing then and it gets to a place where like it doesn't it's not acceptable to me for the wrestler just to be like, well, he can't go, so I'm him.
right.
Yeah, and
So
like JP said, who is, like we said, who is Sami Zayn to say you don't get a title shot? So after he said it, I half expected there no chance in hell come out, and then Vince come out and say he does get a title shot. You don't run the show, I run the show.
okay, well, but either way,
I
but
mean, I'm gonna say
I have seen the rankings, Ronnie. They are out. They put them out the other day.
Yeah, they
all
did put them out the other day. I
promotions
seen them too.
all promotions would do well with a governing figure that decides the matches, just not one that WWE Raw and SmackDown is tended to make a story point
Mhm.
instead of just a decision point. They turn them into heels or faces, and then they give them a wrestling feud. No, just make them be people that are saying this is why the matches are happening.
Right.
Well, the reason that works with Regal is because he can't wrestle anymore. So they're not expecting, nobody's expecting him to get in the ring and wrestle. It's just he comes out, makes an announcement, we don't see him for like another 2 weeks.
I've loved it when I saw people get in his face and he's just like, you know what, fuck, what I say goes, and that's it. And that's literally it. The guy is his character is exactly what most wrestling needs. Someone that you can bitch and complain and fall on the ground and tantrum. You're still going to be in that match regardless.
Right.
So there's that, and yeah. So, but my issue was with they why, and again, the flaw with the rankings. They have and it's to have a match, and that's fine. Just have the match, but why take the number one contendership Why take the number one contendership from the tag teams that have earned it? I just don't understand that. That's flawed to me. That's where it's flawed.
The thing is, they're taking the idea of like a governing figure and turning it into like a ranking system, and the ranking system is never really going to work in a fake sport, because if you got someone hot and is 1-8, are you really gonna like do nothing with them? Then you're gonna have to take 4 weeks to build them to a place where they should fight for a title. In some cases it works, in some cases it doesn't. But if you put the ranking system as like the be all end all of why people are fighting each other, it should be a byproduct to the person in charge making the bookings.
Sure. Speaking of bookings, I heard Tony Khan is now booking.
Maybe he's good at it. I have no idea.
I don't know. Good luck to him. He can't fucking run a football team, but whatever.
Father.
Maybe that's his hidden talent.
Father.
He helps run that team, Peter. He's the
but that's what I'm
guy.
saying. Like, it's not just him alone.
I know, but he's the numbers guy.
The bottom line is, you could take somebody off the street that likes wrestling and they could probably book a show. You never know. Just give them a shot, see what happens. Fuck it.
But anyway, so I just decided to throw that. I forgot to mention that he has. There's a report out there that he's not happy with how things are being booked, so he took over or something. But I have to go back and read the article. I'm gonna combine these two because the Marty Scurll signed a big contract with Ring of Honor, and now he's the head booker and whatnot. And at Super Card of Honor, and I'm combining this because there's like 6 or 7 New Japan fucking superstars that are now competing in Supercard Ring of Honor. So essentially it's going to be a New Japan event. The fuck?
Well, Ring of Honor needs all the help they could get right now.
I understand that.
But I mean, how stupid is it for, in my opinion, for New Japan to be like, and I feel like it's just an ego thing. We're not going to work with AEW. You'd rather work with Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor is on nobody's hot list for watch time.
And I think this is why they did what they did with Marty Scurll, because he has a relationship with all of those guys in New Japan.
But like half the fucking roster in AEW has a relationship with New Japan. But New Japan's like, we don't like you because you left us. But Marty Scurll left too. Fuck off.
Well, Marty Scurll, no, well, but he didn't leave on the terms that they did, apparently.
What terms did they leave on? No longer employed. We're gonna make our own company.
Don't know, and I don't. It's the way they are.
I honestly, it's stupid. It's stupid as fuck. ROH, what? New Japan partnering with ROH.
But there is no,
because they should have partnered with AEW.
How do you know that? Hold on. How do you know that all three of them are not going to eventually end up working together?
Because they're not right now. I can only discuss what's happening right now.
I don't know if the Young Bucks want to work with Ring of Honor. Otherwise, they would have.
They want to work with Marty Scurll.
They don't all work with
Marty Scurll's not in AEW either.
I don't understand why Marty Scurll is like
Scurll
this huge fucking draw. Marty Scurll is like such a B- player for me. Like
Marty Scurll has a mind for the business though.
But he's been a B- in everything he's done. He I have never seen a match of Marty Scurll like, oh, you got to check this out.
I don't know. He had a couple of really good ones in New Japan. But like they want to work with Marty Scurll, and Marty Scurll is head of creative and head of booking over at ROH, and he. Now that they're working back with New Japan, I can almost...
What are they?
Listen, JP, we can contemplate all we want. It doesn't mean that it's going to happen.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
But I'm just saying... But what I am saying is it is a possibility, because Marty Scurll is allowed to wrestle in up to 4 different promotions other than ROH.
I understand that.
It's 4 different promotions I don't need to watch. Well, I mean, he's not even... great. Like the guy's okay
I like
at
Marty
best.
Scurll.
But like, do you like his character or do you like his in-ring? Because his in-ring
Both.
is bleh.
No, I like both because he has that kind of British strong style, and I actually like the British strong style. So,
But he wrestles British strong style okay. Like he's not a great wrestler. Like Marty Scurll to me was like the fucking leftovers from Bullet Club, and now all of a sudden he's hot shit. And I don't get it. Me personally, other people maybe they do, and if they do, they do.
Because
I don't get it.
He's the only other big name, Marty Scurll, because everybody knows who he is, that is left out of the Bullet Club, that is in limbo, and everybody wants him to join AEW. Everybody wants him to join New
He's
Japan.
the part of the Bullet Club that never got a 5-star match, never will, never can.
So I don't know. I just put them together because apparently, and Gina, this isn't Gina's arena because I don't have time to check everything out. With New Japan and all the signings that they did for Super Card of Honor.
yeah, there's a bunch of them. They've got basically the entire Bullet Club. Tamatanga, Tongaloa, let's see, Ishimori, ELP, Kenta's going to be there. Juice Robinson and David Finlay are signed up for New Beginning. This is like, yeah, but this I'm going over. Like I know Bullet Club, all of them, most of them anyway, are going to be at Super Card of Honor, but I'm thinking New Beginning too because they're going to be over here for that. Because I think it happens right around the same time.
Well, that's happening April 4th.
Oh, is it really? Okay,
New
well,
Beginning's happening in a couple of weeks.
Okay, well, scratch Juice and David Finlay off of that then. As far as I've seen, I know that basically the entire Bullet Club is going to be at the ROH event at Super Card of Honor.
Mm-hmm. But I look at this move as like they've done this before. It's a sidestep. They're really not like progressing in terms of like audience wise. In my mind,
I don't think that's what this is about. I don't think.
No, I think that this is just about like a working relationship with Marty Scurll because Marty Scurll, he was probably the only member of the Bullet Club that didn't leave Japan with like a nasty taste in their mouth, you know.
Oh man, that.
Because I mean,
this is why New Japan breaking into an American audience is doomed to fail.
Well,
because they're not willing to swallow a bad pill.
Well, the thing is, I think eventually they will swallow that pill. Right now, however, I mean, working with ROH, it's good for ROH. It's good for New Japan as far as like getting a little bit more American exposure because whether you like it or not, Marty Scurll's name is always going to be connected to the Elite, and the Elite is AEW.
But they did this before, and it equated to what we've seen.
Right, but I think that it's a good foot forward because like the deal with ROH and New Japan had soured. We all know that. Marty Scurll
put sideways, man. I don't see it as before.
Marty Scurll, I'm assuming, is the one that got that going back on track because prior to Marty Scurll taking over, there was no talk of New Japan wanting anything to do with ROH. So I'm assuming that was Marty Scurll that kind of mended that tie. ROH, even though they're a smaller promotion, it's still part of American audience, and the American audience knows what ROH is because of when the Elite was there. So it's a foot in the door. I don't think that it's going to be able to. They're not going to be able to capitalize much off of it, but it is a foot in the door.
But it's literally putting a foot back where a foot was already there.
Right, but if you take WWE's philosophy, if it's what's best for business, and you put everything personal aside, and you look at it from a business standpoint, like Gina's saying, with Marty kind of mending that to a point with a Band-Aid, that could, moving forward, bring up AEW down the road.
Yeah, it's a step forward.
But I feel like, why take a step sideways when you can take a step forward. And when you mentioned putting business ahead of like personal interactions and shit like that, that's the exact opposite of what they're doing.
Yeah, but I don't think so, Basement, because I think that this is AEW is still a relatively new company. So I think that they are watching out for their ass. It's not just about having a bad taste in their mouth about what the Elite did to them. It is a business decision. ROH, even though they are a smaller promotion, they have been around longer. They are established. AEW is still kind of teetering. I mean, yeah, they got this new TV deal, but they're still a new company and they're still working out their kinks. So I think it's a smart business decision for New Japan to go with the company that is already well established and wait for AEW to gain their footing and get the ball rolling.
But how much footing will they gain? That's the question.
That's the question that's up in the air. I mean, I like watching AEW. I think that they have some
Man.
kinks.
I feel like they half measured, man. When they could have like a working relationship with AEW. AEW is hot topic right now, and this is the time to strike. And instead, they fucking.
But we also don't know if that's
flubby
not
dicked
coming.
all over it.
But we also don't know if that's not coming because this deal with Supercard of Honor, it's as far as I've heard so far, it's a one-time deal. There's no contract with ROH or anything like that, so we don't know. Later on, 3-6 months down the road, we could all of a sudden hear, oh, holy shit, we're going to get Chris Jericho versus Kazuchika Okada in an AEW ring. We don't know.
We don't, like, I mean, we know what they've done to this point, and that's make a working relationship with nobodies for the most. They're not. ROH is not nobody, but in the grand scheme of things, they are.
Yeah, but they also got a lot of really, really good talent from ROH. I mean, ROH, you can call them a nobody all you want, but they have like Jeff Cobb. They had Michael Elgin before he went to Impact. Marty Scurll. They got a lot of good talent from ROH.
Not the same amount of good talent they'd get from AEW. So all I'm saying is, like, I look at this as a sidestep, first a foot forward. If you want to make a splash now while you can. Don't work with a company you worked beforehand and did nothing really. I mean,
it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens with it all, but I cannot commend this decision.
Well, you don't. So anyway.
None of us do, unfortunately.
No, we don't. It's just the talking thing. It is what it is. I'm not going to watch it, so I don't care. Because there's nobody in that in the matches. Maybe Will Ospreay, that's about it. But other than that, I can care less who is there.
I mean, I'll watch it because it looks like it's going to be a good card, but...
With who?
I mean, I don't know. Let me look up the freaking card.
I mean,
I know that there was a lot of really good matches involving
Kenta
the Bullet
is going to
Club.
be there. Kenta's going to be there. Will Ospreay is going to be there. And they're going to be fighting who?
Hold on, I'll look up the card.
It's just, I don't know who they're fighting. It's like, why should I get invested in something? All they're doing is Ring of Honor right now is using the big names that they have, not the really huge names, but the big names that they have in New Japan to sell a fucking show. That's what they're doing. They're using New Japan is getting used right now. And that should be the other way around. New Japan should be using Ring of Honor.
Yeah, but they're willingly being used. That's on them.
It's exactly it. That's my thinking on the whole thing.
All right.
So, I mean,
let's see here.
I wish them the best of luck, but I don't think matches are set. They're just signing people to New Japan.
They're not set yet, but I was hoping to see like the card so far, but I'm not finding it.
Well, it's not until April.
Yeah, it's all over Twitter. I mean, but they haven't. I don't think that they've actually announced like the actual matches. It's just who's going to be there.
So, we'll be looking out for that. I'm not going to watch the pay-per-view, so it is what it is. If Kazuchika Okada or somebody shows up, I might raise an eye. But who knows? So, speaking of lower level fucking promotion.
Yes, I finally get to talk Impact.
Oh my god, this fucking promotion, man. Some
I
of the
probably won't
decisions.
talk about it the rest of the year. This is one time I can talk about them.
No, that's fine. That's why I saved this for last, because that's actually like the biggest news of the fucking week is what happened in fucking Impact. So Sunday last week, was it last week, Ronnie?
Yeah, last Sunday night.
They put the fucking title on Tessa Blanchard. Now, I'm not saying that because she's a fucking woman. Well, actually, I am. They have, and I agree with what Booker T said.
Yeah.
You got to look at it from this point. They now have a woman. It's a bad move. Why? Because they had a woman beat a guy, and now any other guy that she fucking wrestles, they're going to treat her like the fucking feed. She's not going to fucking lose. They're going to bury, and I hate to say this, but they're going to bury a guy who could probably legit destroy her in 2 minutes. Makes no fucking sense to me. You put the title on a woman, the world title. And I'm not talking about... You had Brian Cage. Her beat Brian Cage in a fucking match. Brian Cage is like 3 of her.
Right, but the thing of it was, she beat 6 guys to get this match to begin with, and that being the most unbelievable.
I'm not saying that Tessa Blanchard is burying people. The company itself is burying talent to put her over because she is hot right now.
Oh, it's going to get better.
Put the women's title on her. Because now you've ruined Taya Valkyrie, who you built up to be the strongest woman in the fucking company. But she's not. It's Tessa Blanchard.
And Taya has called her out because now she wants a double championship.
I seen that too. She said, well, and they treat their fucking titles like they treat the women, now they're going to treat the women's title like a fucking stepping stone.
The thing is, I think eventually they're just going to merge the women's and the men's title, and it's just going to become one Impact title.
But the thing is, it's going to become unwatchable.
It is.
Because you want to promote the women, and you want to make them as important as the men. Make the women's title as important as the men's title. Don't make the men's title the women's title, and vice versa.
Yeah, I just don't understand the philosophy behind it. I understand the women's movement thing. But come on.
Plus, well, and the thing of it is, too, when you have a promotion that's going to do the intergender wrestling, that's what people are going to expect. And for months, they have done this with her.
Mm-hmm.
They have built her and built her and built her and built her to this unstoppable force. And during the match, because I actually watched the match, she was counted out, and the refs stopped counting to allow her to get back in the ring. And you knew at that point there was no stopping what they were going to do by putting it on her. He literally stopped counting at 8 to give her the chance to get back in the ring. Right, and they were spitting on each other, they were snotting on each other, they were cursing at each other.
The cursing
throughout the match.
But they were spitting on each other, blowing snot. Get the fuck out of here with that shit.
That's getting bad.
That's fucking ECW didn't fucking roll, and they stooped pretty fucking low.
You want to talk about how bad it is with ECW? Why don't we get into RVD and his little stuff?
You calm your shit. You're still talking about Tessa Blanchard here. God damn
I thought you were segueing because you said ECW.
No.
Okay, so like in all honesty, you put the title on Tessa Blanchard.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you go from here?
Exactly.
Because her taking any other title or leaving the main title to wrestle for the women's title is going to be looked at as a demotion.
Mm-hmm.
If she runs through the men's roster, it's going to look bad for all the men on the roster. Just societal, like the bottom line is Tessa Blanchard. How like she's what 5 foot, what
5'5" and 126 pounds.
And then you had someone like Brian Cage face her and lose. Just you want me to suspend disbelief to the point where it's literally unbelievable. This is the problem with intergender wrestling. It works to a point, but that's the point where it should stay. If you want to do an intergender belt where it's like a tag team title or like just a belt in general that can be held by men or women, then go for it. But when you make your main title that and you have a bunch of fucking behemoths on the roster, it has a very short shelf life,
And this
and
is why
you're all the worse for doing it.
And this is why you'll never see WWE put up the main title, the WWE World Heavyweight title or the Universal title on a fucking woman.
Well, you see Brock Lesnar fight any of these women, it's just not going to sell well.
If Becky Lynch decided to go after Brock Lesnar would essentially fucking kill her. If the match would last, if the match wouldn't even last as long as Kofi Kingston's match. I'll put it to you like that.
I'm still going to go with my theory.
It's not happening. WWE would not be so stupid. And I know they have done some pretty stupid things, but WWE's been in this business for a long time. And for them, they don't even like intergender wrestling.
But they did the right thing. They built up the women's title or at least built up the women's division to be as strong as the men's. They've highlighted them when they needed to be. But when you have like it's like fucking Gilbert beating Brock Lesnar. In all honesty, size wise, it just doesn't make sense.
I want to see that.
It's not happening, Bobbitt. That's what he's saying. It's don't work. It don't work.
I think they're going to put the belt on Becky, though. I really do think
that.
And
then you're gonna. And then what, Bobbitt? Then what the fuck are you gonna do?
They
don't know.
You can't just put the title. You can't just put the title on Becky and say, okay, so now what? It don't work.
Now your male roster of Roman Reigns can't beat Becky Lynch. Now you're entering a place where as soon as anybody loses to her, they're buried.
Yeah. It don't work. It don't work. Because that's essentially what Impact just did. Is they put the title on a 126-pound woman, and now do you think they're going to take the title off of her anytime fucking soon? No.
But here's the thing, like wrestling is built off of the actual fighting sports. It's built off of all sports, and if all sports all of a sudden said, you know what, gender doesn't matter. If gender didn't matter in sports, unfortunately, just the way the fucking world is, men would literally destroy the women 99% of the time.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
It's just a fact of nature. Unfortunately, you might say whatever you want to say. You can say whatever. That is just all I'm saying is fact. I mean, you got a 300-pound guy versus a 130-pound woman. There's a chance she might win if she's a technical genius or something like that. Yes, but like to beat every 300-pound guy, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't see that. But I know Ronnie watched the match, and like she just said, they stopped an 8 count for her to get back in the ring so that she didn't lose. So this company is just they've lost at that point right there. And then with the whole whatever happened with her and the fucking racist comments and shit, she's not looking good by sidestepping everything or saying what she said. But it is what it is. I'm not going to go into that because I really don't care. It's not my.
I mean, in my opinion, there's a way to make this work, but the only way I can see it actually work is if you have like Ronda Rousey, for instance. I could see be a lot of the male talent because she actually knows how to fight. Mm-hmm. She's been in legitimate fights. She knows chokeholds. She knows how to work the actual ring to actually get someone to tap out, and that's what you need to do. And that I can get behind, but again, that has a shelf life.
Right.
This has like a shorter shelf life to be like Tessa Blanchard. She's like a power women's wrestler, which is not going to equate to being a power men's wrestler.
No.
Tessa Blanchard versus Keith Lee, for instance, like for fuck's sakes.
It'd be death. So yeah, and then what was the other news besides before we get into the whole other thing? What was the other thing?
Well, they had RVD went against Brian Cage, which rumors that night started with Brian Cage that his contract has expired with Impact. Rumors started that night right after the match because he was unable to continue from RVD doing a coast to coast, and then his girlfriends came into the ring, and Brian was taken out of the match, and they threw Dega in, which was kind of like a shit finish for that to end the match. But then the rumor started circulating that Brian had signed with AEW.
Immediately,
and
that makes no sense for them. I've never seen a superstar ever or wrestler ever do that. Where I shouldn't say that I've never seen it because Scott Hall did it.
It's the booking, aligning itself to the superstar's decision to leave.
Right.
Last minute.
Right. But people saying that he signed is just like, come on, man. What if he doesn't want to fucking sign with anybody and he just wants to fucking take time off? Fucking people jump to fucking conclusions. People saying that this guy signed with somebody or should sign with somebody. Look, it's wherever the guy wants to go. If he wants to go to fucking MLW, he'll go to MLW. If he wants to go to WWE, he'll go to WWE. Who are we to say that he should go where he... It's nice to speculate where he goes, but who are we to say that he needs to go here? Maybe it's his decision, ultimately.
In my honest opinion, I think like coming back with Impact would be a bad one, considering the state of where they are. You're this fucking giant beefcake dude.
Yes.
And the title's held by a 130-pound woman. Like that's
beaten once.
Yeah, but that's where their mindset is. How far is your star really going to go in that division and that fucking company?
Right, but then soon after, like I was saying, the rumor started that night. His wife actually did tweet out, and I mean, she's like, "I'm his wife. Really, you're going to confirm something that you know nothing about that I would know something more about."
Right.
Now, as of today, you see it as he is expected to sign with AEW.
See, I'm okay with the expected to, because he's in talks. Killer Cross, he's in talks with WWE. He is expected to sign with WWE. Okay, that's fine. We'll wait and see. Whatever happens, happens. You know, people need to stop losing their shit because somebody goes somewhere where they don't want them to go. It's like, and this is another problem.
Well, I mean, like, no matter what happens, it's speculation. I don't agree with the fucking reporters at SoCal Uncensored that said he signed already with somebody else. You don't know that. All you're doing is fucking clickbaiting.
He is. That's what he was doing, and it was funny. It's fucking everybody is now Sean's view.
Now, I do feel...
The other thing, too, I mean, you see, and we had this discussion, like when New Day re-signed with WWE, and everybody was saying, oh, they need to leave that racist company after what they made Kofi do. Well, you got Elias that just re-signed, and if he's so miserable with what he's doing with the company, why would he re-sign for another 5 years?
Who?
Elias.
Okay, so I actually just... out of the whim, just watched backstage one day, the night that Miz was on there, and he was saying that he said Elias. I think Elias has a chance to be one of the bigger stars that we have. And Elias has shared his frustrations. And he said, Miz took him aside and said, "Look, man, just keep doing what you're doing." So
I mean, I think it's putting things in perspective. I mean, why would where is Elias gonna go that he's getting paid more, and also being exposed more than WWE? WWE, though they might have not have exposed him in the way that maybe he wanted, the guy was on everything. He's been on every pay-per-view. He's had a segment all the time somewhere. He's become relevant in the WWE circle. It's not his wrestling, because his wrestling, in my opinion, won't get him over anywhere.
he's serviceable as a wrestler. I'm not gonna sit here and say he's terrible. He is
But
serviceable.
he's very much a WWE wrestler.
Yes, he is entertaining to me. I actually laughed at what he did on Friday. I think it was Friday. Yeah, it was Friday. I actually enjoyed what he was doing. I like him as a babyface. He's a much better babyface than he is a heel. He can play a
Yes.
great heel, but he's not a very good heel wrestler. Him being a babyface helps his wrestling, in my opinion. Just because but he can do both. He can be a heel or a babyface, but I like his babyface stuff.
But also, you think he's going to go AEW? You think he's going to ROH or Impact and be bigger than he is right now? I mean, there's a chance, but is the money there, and is the chance that much more intriguing?
It depends on how over he is with the people. Because if he is over with the people, and you hear that strum, and he comes out in AEW, yeah, he's like Moxley was whatever, but he
Moxley
came
had
out.
a much
He
higher
came out
ranking.
when he showed up at AEW, he got a huge pop.
Well, I
I
honestly
did.
think WWE used him the way they wanted to use him until he resigned. They're like, we're going to showcase you and make you intriguing to the fans, but not like over completely. Because if we made you over completely, then there's a chance you're going to leave. Now that you've resigned, we can kind of do maybe what we want you to do or maybe what we want to do with you because we know you're going to stay.
Right. Then that's the thing, and I think they're gonna kind of start using him a little bit more in those kinds of roles. I really do. Back to Impact though.
Right, and then so with the RVD Brian Cage match, that's like I said, started the rumors with Cage. Well, then RVD had a big celebration on Tuesday that got him banned from Twitch.
Yeah, for good.
Yeah, at this point, I mean, there's not there. You can't see anything on the Twitch channel. They couldn't even do their regular weekly show Friday before the Mexico City event this weekend.
Look, when I watched that thing, Rob Van Dam looked like a tired, drugged out waste of human flesh. I mean, if you look at him, he looks so fucking tired. He looked so fucking high. And he just looked so, like, he looked 70.
Yeah.
He looked old. And it was sad. Because Rob Van Dam was one of the great talents of all time. And then it's just the people thinking that this is what people want to see in 2020 for wrestling is part of the problem. Now, here, I'm going to say this. I've seen this and I know it's Twitter, and Basement's like, well, you just can't fucking make this on Twitter. But people that say, and there are people out there, and I'm not going to name names, oh, this segment with Rob Van Dam was fantastic. But yet the Lana and Lashley thing was bad? I honestly think both of them were shit.
Well, I didn't even have to watch the celebration. Even during the pay-per-view, when I saw her come out and then I saw the one in the audience, I'm just like, this is no better than WWE.
Yeah,
WWE is way better. I'm sorry, WWE is way better than Impact. They don't stoop that fucking. It looked like trailer park trash bullshit that they did. At least that wedding segment didn't come off as trailer park trash.
yeah. As soon as I saw the clip on YouTube, not on YouTube, on I think it was Wrestling Inc. It said, you guys told me about too that RVD and them got kicked off Twitch. As soon as I'm like, are we sure Vince Russo isn't working for Impact
No,
anymore?
Vince Russo is not working for Impact. I know that for a fact. But this would be something that Vince Russo would do.
Yeah.
And
And then the last thing, and I had actually seen the results earlier today, but Trek sent me some spoilers. They have taken the belt off of Taya in Mexico City. So Jordan Grace is now the KO champion now.
So that means Ty is going to be the new #1 contender, probably.
Well, no, because she cut a promo saying that she was going to take this title and put it up against Tessa Blanchard. Because Taya Valkyrie is the one that beat Tessa Blanchard.
No, that's what I mean. Ty is going to be the new #1 contender for Tessa.
Did you hear what I just said? She was going to take that title and she was going to essentially cash it in to take on.
Okay, sorry about that. I got a little garbled here.
No, that's fine.
Yeah,
So
that's what she did after the pay-per-view. But Mexico City was this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And 10 hours ago, they had a triple threat that Jordan Grace won.
Okay.
Valkyrie was in a tag team match with Ace Austin, Valkyrie against Tessa and Trey.
Okay.
But I guess because there was an additional match,
okay,
Grace won the belt this weekend over Taya. Okay. So they did put the belt on Grace this weekend, which will be airing Tuesday.
To me, and I think Basement Jordan Grace is more believable to be a fucking world heavyweight champion than fucking Tessa Blanchard.
Yep.
She looks like she could get at least.
So, and she did come close Sunday during the pay-per-view because that was a triple threat, which added ODB to that match.
Right.
And she did come very close to winning it, but as far as I knew, when they kept it on her, I thought maybe Taya just maybe signed an extension because her contract actually did expire at the end of December with Impact.
Yeah, she was on a, what do you call that, an honor?
Where she had already been booked for the pay-per-view. So she went ahead with that. And then I guess because of Mexico City being this weekend, this was like, an impromptu match right after everything else that happened because it wasn't even on 10 hours ago that she had dropped the belt. Okay. And like I said, Trek just sent it to me a little bit ago.
So Jordan
and I looked
Grace,
it up and it's showing Grace as the champion now.
Jordan Grace is the women's champion. Okay.
Yeah, Knockouts champion now.
All right. Yeah, and that's funny to me too because Taya Valkyrie won Knockout of the Year.
Yeah, and then that was the other thing when they did the awards. Tessa won Match of the Year. She won Wrestler of the Year. She won all the big awards when they had that 2-week special.
Right. What, Bobbit?
Did we go over that Jazzy Gabrick's no longer part of WWE?
I didn't know that she was not part of WWE.
Yes, she's a free agent now.
Okay, well, all the best luck in the world. I don't know who's going to shine. If I was her, but then again, I think WWE was tentative to use her because of her neck issues.
Yeah.
Well, and not only that, but she can always go back to the promotion that she was in because she was like, I think she was like head booker or something in that promotion.
She was with whatever the promotion that Tony Storm was in over there.
Yeah.
Stardom?
What?
No,
Stardom?
it's in either Great Britain or Germany. I can't remember.
Progress?
Oh, Progress?
Oh, yeah.
That's where Tony Storm came from. She was with Shimmer, but she got her start in Progress. Because they have a women's division. It is what it is. Look, here's my thing on Impact, and I don't watch it. I watched the one pay-per-view. Which pay-per-view was it that I watched? I paid 40
Bound by
bucks
Glory.
for it.
Bound for
And
Glory.
yeah, I paid 40 bucks for that fucking pay-per-view, and I almost fucking wrote them a letter saying, "Good God, man, you need to fucking give me my money back." That pay-per-view wasn't worth fucking $5.
Yeah.
Wasn't worth 5 fucking bucks. So, Impact, they just need. I hope to God that this fucking burns them by putting a title on her, because that'll teach them a fucking lesson, not just try to be fucking progressive. There's a difference between being progressive and being dumb.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, and for all the people that are saying, "Well, you're just hating on women." No, I'm not hating on women. Why would I hate on women? It just makes no sense to put the title on a woman. You give me a believable woman's character. Tessa Blanchard's not it. Jordan Grace, maybe it. Jazzy Gabber, I know could be it, because she's what, 190 pounds or so? So I can see her being that individual, but it's like Impact. I know Ronnie. I don't know if she really likes the promotion or if she just watches it.
I actually just watch because it's Tuesday nights after dark. There's really nothing on, and
Okay.
with having cable, I had access TV,
Okay.
so I would just put it on.
Okay.
But I mean, Ken Shamrock, I watch him, and of course Rhino, RVD were there, and Brian Cage, Elgin. I like watching him, and he had a very good match at the pay-per-view against Edwards.
He usually has good matches. He's a good wrestler.
Yeah.
But
I mean, Tuesday night, it kind of defeated the purpose. They put the belt on Tessa, and then she's doing an interview with Josh Matthews,
right,
and they're getting interrupted by a voice, which is Sami Callihan, because, I mean, he's got that very distinctive voice, and he's kind of stalking her. So she's supposed to be this big-ass bad wrestler that just defeated all these men to get that match, beats Sami Callihan, and now he's going to be stalking her, and basically said he's coming after her. She's not going to know when it's going to happen. She better watch her back. And she runs from the studio interview. Like, she's running down the hallway, like, looking. She's opening doors. She's looking out in the parking lot. And it's like, okay, now you've got her, this scared, intimidated woman who just supposedly has been built up to be this killer among these men of Impact.
Right. Yeah.
And now she's running scared.
As far as weekly show goes, which do you think is better? Raw or fucking Impact?
Ronnie, I haven't seen Raw lately, but I mean, from what you guys have said, I mean, Raw's gotten progressively better.
But even before then?
Well, for me, it was Impact just because of the wrestling. I mean, I could sit and just watch the wrestling. I really didn't care about the storylines because they were shit storylines. I mean, you had a guy shitting in Ken Shamrock's bag.
Yeah.
Well,
so I really didn't care about that because WWE's already done that, but it gave a good match between Johnny Swinger and Ken Shamrock.
Well, no, WWE, actually, X-Pac actually shit in somebody's bag. That wasn't the storyline.
Well, no, I was thinking, wasn't it Randy Orton or somebody supposedly did that as a prank or something?
No, that really happened.
Oh, okay. But, I mean, Rosemary, she really doesn't have anything, but when she comes out and wrestles, she does wrestle. And her storyline is she's kind of just floundering around because she doesn't really have anybody that's siding with her. They've got this new, like, undead faction that is ganging up on her. And I liked watching ODB. I liked watching Jordan Grace and Valkyrie. I mean, all those, when those three would be in singles or they'd be in the triple threats, it was actual wrestling that I could sit and watch.
Right. I mean,
So for me, the wrestling, I would say Impact, but storylines. Neither one of them I really could care less with the storylines between Raw and Impact.
I mean, the storylines of, you just said it, Rosemary. Some of the storylines they had her in were some of the best storytelling that wrestling had.
Yeah.
Right, and she's just there now. I mean, she comes out, she
sad,
wrestles.
Man. Well, that's
but you got
probably
this
because
Soon Lee
she's
who
probably,
now comes around the ring watching her.
Oh,
and then they're trying to drag her into that. But I mean, since she came back from her injury, I mean, there's just really been nothing other than just she'll come out and wrestle, and then you won't see her for a couple weeks, and then she'll wrestle again. So there's really no build with her anymore.
Well, there's
and that's basically since Allie left.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I said they need each other.
Yep.
She's March is right around the corner, and I do see her. If you go to her Twitter page, 03/03/2020, I don't know what that means, but that's a date.
Yeah.
That I don't know if that's the date that her contract runs out, where she can go wherever she wants. But she is one person that I do see going to AEW. I do see her going there if she ever leaves Impact.
I just hope she doesn't end up with that faction of Brandies.
Oh, Lord, no.
She would be the one to destroy that faction.
Yeah. If she leaves Impact, they're going to be hurting real bad. Real bad.
Yes, with the women's division, yes.
Yeah.
But apparently they're more worried about fucking Tessa Blanchard and fucking Taya Valkyrie than anything, so whatever. So.
Well, when I saw the RVD thing on Tuesday, all I could think of, not only that, just the Vince Russo thing, which I was being funny about, but just that it feels, they said a couple years ago they felt like they're WWE light. It feels like they've never left the Attitude Era, like they're lingering in the Attitude Era, but not in the good part. It feels like they're lingering in the tail end when everything is just starting to go to shit. It just...
I know that they're bringing back the TNA, Total Nonstop Action is what it is, and that's going to be the six sided ring.
Well, they're also doing WrestleMania weekend, and it's going to be in New York. Mm-hmm. They're going to be having a big thing with the Impact stars that weekend as well.
Well, I know that
I have a feeling that there's going to be a lot of promotions in New York that weekend.
Supercard of Honor is in Lakeland, Florida.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the 16th of April.
4th.
Is the TNA just a one-off, or I mean, already?
It's just a old rehash show.
Oh, okay. So kind of like what they did with the throwback night that they did a couple weeks ago.
Whatever.
Yeah, they've got 2 more events prior to that, but that's their next big thing that they're promoting. Because like this past weekend before the pay-per-view, they had an event Friday. They had one Saturday, which kind of led up into Sunday, which was all done in Texas.
Right.
Lockdown's coming back, too.
But, I mean, like I said, Impact is just another... They're just going through the motions. I mean, they're trying to be progressive, but there's a difference between being progressive and just what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
And they're trying to be edgy, but they're trying to be too edgy. Is the kind of stuff that what I seen what Rob Van Dam was doing was essentially what the Attitude Era was.
Yep.
The bad crap from the Attitude.
Yeah, the tail end.
What you're seeing with the Lana and Lashley story isn't even close to Attitude Era stuff.
Yeah.
That's as close as WWE is going to get to the Attitude Era. Yeah. But, is there anything anybody else wants to say or do?
All I gotta say is the most entertaining thing to me was on Wednesday night was when Keith Lee attacked all those people. He threw the guy into the car. That was pretty cool.
Oh, I did see that.
Because he proved he's they didn't have to have him rise up behind someone do the weird face and stuff. That he just went on the rampage and beat the shit out of people.
Yes, he did.
Well,
he actually got hurt from that, and that security dude actually got
Well, I was
hurt
going
from
to
it
say,
too.
I saw he was hurt, and then was it Marina Schiffner had surgery, so she's going to be out for, they said, at least 6 to 9 months with her injury.
Well, there goes the Four Horsewomen versus Four Horsewomen thing. Well,
Yeah.
And there goes
This-
possible Keith Lee in the Royal Rumble.
no, not necessarily. I don't
No.
think his injury was that bad.
I think it might be a storyline injury, they're saying.
Well, and even Velveteen Dream's questionable.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Velveteen
that's-
Dream
that's bad.
is apparently he's in a bad way. What I
Back bad.
Well, personally, I think his back probably got fucked from what was it? Was it NXT New York or Chicago when they had that ladder match for the NXT North American Championship when they first debuted it, and he took that ladder straight to the fucking back when he got suplexed on it and he landed on top of it.
Yeah.
That like he hit his spine first. I think that right there was where his back got fucked, and then he just wrestled hurt for a while after that and made it worse.
Right. You know what I mean?
It could be, and then the only good thing about that, the only good thing about Velveteen Dream, getting hurt is because he's so young. He could recover still. He's that young, so it's not
and
like
he's got the best doctors. Some of the best doctors in the world helping him. So I have no doubt that he'll recover.
Man. Dr. Dave Andrews, best orthopedic surgeons.
Yeah, I have absolutely no doubt that he will recover. It's just a matter of how long.
It's good, if at all. I've heard it's to the point where he may have to retire.
Oh.
Which is really fucking sad because he's young and he had it. Like he had something special, or he has something special.
Yeah. But that's just what I have heard. I've heard 3 different things. He could be back. He may not be back, and there's a good chance he may not be back. I know that
Any other
sounds
one
like
I heard about the injuries was Tyler Breeze, and he's just day to day.
Tyler Breeze, that he ain't gonna do anything with him. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, Tyler Breeze is on NXT now. They're gonna push him to a title." He ain't winning.
Yeah, he's on 205 Live now.
We talked about that. I could give a shit about 205 Live. I think we all could say we could give a shit about 205 Live.
I don't think WWE gives a shit about 205 Live at this. I think it's just treading water and waiting for the contract to expire on the network so they could just push it to something else.
The contract
on the network, they own the network.
Well, not that, but just to see how long the show can go for much longer before they have to call it a night and turn out the lights.
Well, WWE can call it a night, turn off the lights anytime they want. They don't need a fucking... What is Vince McMahon gonna fucking sue himself for fucking ending the contract?
Oh, but I was just trying to think of a way to say it, but just to see how much longer they can run it until it's just we're done.
No. How about
until
now?
It just fizzles.
How about now?
Well, I mean, there is still people that watch it though, so I see what Chuck is saying.
But considering the end of the year last year, they were pretty much canceling it every other week. I think it's pretty much gone. I think our friend Connor was even saying he doesn't see it lasting until the end of the year.
I could definitely agree with that.
It's dead. And not only that, but look at Worlds Collide coming up on Royal Rumble weekend this Saturday. There's no mention of 205 Live, whereas a couple years ago it was 205 Live, NXT, and NXT UK. It's just NXT and NXT UK. It's pretty much dead. It's going to be folded into NXT and NXT UK. They're going to say, we had a good run. Let's just let the rerun stay on the network.
When has 205 Live been integrated into NXT UK?
No, he was saying there was 205 Live guys, NXT guys, and NXT UK guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I knew this was coming when Triple H said the 205 Live, the Cruiserweight title now called the NXT Cruiserweight title. They're pretty much just dead. They're treading water.
So there you go. Just tell people to fucking watch NXT.
Yep.
On fucking Wednesdays, and you'll see the Cruiserweights there.
Yep.
I don't know. It is what it is. But anybody else got anything? Any other news? Anything we didn't go over? Bobbit? Bobbit?
Oh, yeah. Yesterday was Cheese's birthday.
Oh, here we go.
Oh my God. We don't care.
What? You told me to bring something up, and I thought I did.
Nobody gives a fuck about Kairi Sane's dog except Kairi Sane and maybe you.
I mean, I love
Don't
dogs,
forget
but I
about
still
She's
don't
coming to
care.
WrestleMania. We'll have her and the dog shot from the cannon.
There you go. I did hear that.
The
I guess
cannon doesn't shoot anything out of it. I don't know why people.
WWE
She
can
wouldn't
break it,
fit
it
in
does.
it
Because she's a
anyway.
pirate. She's going to get shot out and she's going to be like,
Well,
ahoy!
The
That's the
hole
end of
on that
Flying
thing
over the
is
crowd.
this big. Nobody's getting shot out
Well,
of the
that's how
cannon.
big Kairi Sane is. So.
No, she's not.
she'll get another concussion. She'll never be seen again.
I think Kairi Sane's about the same size you are, Gina.
She may be
might
leaving
have.
anyway.
No, she is. She's like 130 pounds, 130, 100. She's up there.
I'm bigger
That
than
range?
her. Then.
I'm bigger than her.
Really? No, you're not.
Yeah, I am. I'm not saying how much I weigh on live air.
Nobody's making you, but I'm just saying she's about the same size. She's like 130 pounds or so, somewhere in there. So, yeah. But Kairi Sane's not getting shot out of no fucking cannon.
Okay, well then she can use the umbrella like she did on the what I saw on Twitter when she was going after Becky with the umbrella during that segment.
Oh yeah, that was
Oh.
goofy as shit.
Yeah, that's another thing that's happening is the Royal Rumble match is Kairi Sane, Asuka and Becky Lynch. We kind of talked about that last night on what they should do. Honestly, I think they should take the title off of Becky, but I don't think, and it's not because I'm not trying to
I
shit on the
second
Becky thing.
that notion.
I think, and it's not. We know you think that should happen, Bob. I think it should happen for. I explained it better last night, but it's better storyline wise. Becky cannot beat Asuka. If she beats Asuka,
What does she do?
Becky
Ronda
might as
Rousey?
well fucking retire
It'll
because
probably be Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, but I feel like there's a better storyline with Asuka right now than there is with Ronda Rousey.
yes,
Yeah, but it's all about WWE wants to sign that total diva shit, and they want to have that
There
Ronda
I'd
Rousey.
like to see
is
maybe
no-
Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania, and Asuka versus Becky Lynch for the title.
I wouldn't mind seeing Ronda Rousey versus Shayna Baszler.
Yeah, we'll
That's
see
what I
they
would
do
want to
there.
say.
I just don't know. I don't know if they're gonna propel like that, but we'll see what happens.
yeah.
It's all speculation.
Yeah, and there is no definite for sure thing, and I've been seeing this. Yes, there is speculation that she's coming back. We've seen this before, and it never fucking happens.
Yeah, they were dropping hints about that at Survivor Series, weren't they?
Well, they're dropping hints about fucking everything. They drop hints all the time. They're not hints. They're just trying to get you to think that, hey, this person may show up. Doesn't mean that they are.
No.
That's the thing.
No, I know. I agree.
If she shows up, she shows up. But
Yeah.
I don't know if she will.
No, he's always.
But that being said, I think we're going to get out of here. God damn, it wasn't the fucking 5-hour debacle we had last week. Shit. We can talk for another 2
Hey.
hours. I'm just kidding. What, Bobbit? What?
Oh no, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Hey,
Oh my god.
It's fucking.
I'm just
flying
saying.
my
I'm just saying what I
motherfucker
said.
over here.
Hey!
Hey.
So I want to thank Ronnie, Trek, Bobbit, Basement, and Gina for being here tonight. Heather would have been here, but apparently Wendy woke up. I think she's back to sleep now. But so, and Heather set up the show, so thank her when you get a chance. That woman is tired as fuck right now. But, so that being said, I want to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank all of you guys for watching us. We're going to try just talking newsy. I don't want to talk about fucking shows. Watch them. If you want to know what happened, fucking look it up on the internet. Just saying. I mean, I can sit here and tell you what I think, but that'd take fucking 4 hours because I could elaborate on fucking why WWE does stupid shit all the time.
Well, I
and
mean,
that's the
pretty
thing
much
with-
when you have the news, that kind of leads into what happened on a show. So,
Well, yeah,
well,
but then
yeah,
I-
and there's so many freaking wrestling promotions these days that like, in order to actually give you like a full review, if that is what we were going to do, we would be sitting here for 6-7 hours
yes,
talking
I can't
about
I
all
can't-
of these different shows, and I, for one, am not willing to do that, nor am I believable that anybody was willing to listen to us for that long.
They did it last week. You just reviewed. Well, whatever. It is what it is. That being said, don't forget we will be doing Royal Rumble on my channel next week, Sunday, because there is no football. Thank God. Everybody enjoy the games tomorrow. Go Pack Go. That's all I'm saying.
no, you're not watching Pro Bowl.
I ain't fuck that shit. That's so fucking. That's almost worse than fucking watching an 8-hour WrestleMania. And then when is Portland? Isn't it the day before the Super Bowl? No, it's January 12th or February 12th, right?
The 12th, I think.
We might do that, but we might do it on this channel. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll talk about it. We'll figure it out. So that's just something that I'm putting in everybody's ear. So that being said, everybody have a great night, and we will talk to you next week when we talk about. We're actually giving our predictions for the Royal Rumble. That's what we're doing. And then we'll talk about other stuff that happened in the week. But thanks for joining us, everybody. Have a good night.
Happy birthday.
Yo, shut the fuck up.
I knew it was coming.